All right, welcome in. Happy Thursday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone. We get you all the way turned over from the crossover, which that goes wherever it goes. And we'll start this Thursday show off with a little fun. Let's talk some Omaha basketball with the head coach himself, Chris Crutchfield, who joins us now. Not necessarily new around here, Coach, but new recently. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Okay, so have you you hit the ground running? Obviously, you get out and you start recruiting and pitching what Omaha basketball is going to be. Have you had a chance to settle in yet?
No, not at all. I'm in a hotel still and trying to figure out the next player to get. That's the priority right now is to really get this roster shaped out the right way, and then we'll get our schedule put together. Then the other stuff is secondary after that.
So okay, so you're just you're moving day to day. So the office is just, what does it look like right now?
Oh, there's a stack of files and papers and about 10 different calendars.
Yeah. Yep, that sounds about right. So you mentioned putting the roster together, and that's really the main focus right now. What's the reception been like on the recruiting trail for you guys, your staff, and Omaha basketball?
I tell you what, it's been really kind of surprising that the interest we've gotten from a bunch of prospects. I mean, I couldn't be more excited. We got some young people actually coming in tonight. They'll be on campus this weekend, and then we'll turn around and bring some more kids on campus on Monday. So we're getting the word out and getting some kids on campus, and hopefully we'll get them committed here really soon because this place sells itself. So most of them, once they see it, I'm sure they'll be shocked, and we're moving in the right direction, trying to plug every spot. We need every spot to get this roster balanced out to the point where we can compete.
When you're just
in the Summit League.
Yeah, when you're just kind of starting off like you guys are now, and there's a lot of holes to fill in the roster. How do you kind of sort through? I mean, do you have it planned in your head, and how many guys from the transfer portal, recruits that you want to take? Is there like a vision for that, or is it kind of just best available, that type of situation?
No. It's definitely a vision and a plan that we're putting together here to make sure, one, we get the right kid with the right attitude, the right mentality, and the right talent and the right skill set is needed. But that particular position that we need also becomes important. And we want a kid that's humble and hungry and going to appreciate being at Nebraska, Omaha, and so we're looking at different avenues of junior college kids. Of course, we're in the portal. We're also looking at maybe a couple of high school kids who got under recruited because of the portal. So we're looking at everything, but there's definitely a plan on how we attack this thing, because I don't think you can do it any other way.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, you mentioned that mentality. What does what is an Omaha basketball player in your vision? What is the mentality, and what does that player look like? What do they need to, what are the non-negotiables for an Omaha basketball player?
Well, one has got to be, character. Two has got to be your work ethic. Then you got to have a competitive spirit. Those three things will allow you to improve and get better. Our jobs as coaches also, we got to recruit, we got to teach and coach, but we got to develop. We got to continue to develop these young people who are on our campus for 3 or 4 years. So that's our goal, is to get talented players that have a competitive spirit, that want to get better. And I think when you have that trait of being a competitor, you're going to work at getting better at everything that you do. You're going to be a competitive student. You're going to be a competitive basketball player. And I think that's the way you build the culture and build a program with guys that are competitive.
Chris Crutchfield is the Omaha men's basketball coach, and he joins us here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. You've named a couple assistants so far, filling out that staff, but specifically a guy like Kenya, and him and his not, and you obviously have deep ties with the Omaha area as well. But him knowing Omaha, what's I mean, I asked about reception just from recruits generally, but specifically in Omaha, I think a lot of people have thought for a long time around here that there's some players around who could play at that level. What's been the response so far locally?
It's been great. It's been great, and we're hitting the ground running to try to get involved with some local kids. Because I think it's important that we put a fence around Omaha, then we put another fence around the whole state of Nebraska, and try to recruit those young people who want to possess a skill and a talent to play at this level. Not everyone has that ability to do that, but the ones that do, we're going to go after. We're going to recruit them as hard as we can. We're going to get on them early and make sure they know they are a priority for our program. So hiring Kenya helps because he's from here. He knows the city. He knows the state. And along with myself and the rest of our staff, we're gonna hit it pretty hard because I know that recruiting at home in your backyard is the lifeblood of your program.
Hey, I mean, you guys can walk into any of the schools in Omaha and people know like there's value to that, right?
No doubt about it, no doubt. And that's what you want. You want to continue to pique people's interest, to get them back involved with this program again, and not just from a recruiting standpoint, from a fan engagement and community engagement. We want everybody back involved because this is Omaha's team.
Chris Crutchfield is with us. He's Omaha men's basketball coach. There's been a lot of talk about, since you've been hired and now, really since the administration has changed over, at Omaha about making Omaha a basketball school or making that a primary thing on the banner, on the marquee at Omaha when you drive by at 76 and Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
What I guess your thought on that so far, and we've seen it from the outside. It appears as if Omaha is really trying to make itself known as, hey, we're a basketball school.
Well, I don't know if that's the plan going forward, but it'd be great if that did happen. But I also think that it's a sport that everybody can relate to. I think everyone goes out in their backyard and shoots baskets. And I think that's the draw to the game of basketball. So I think if we can captivate an audience in a city of this size, why not try to do that? That has to be the attempt, if to try to captivate an audience here in Omaha to get people back involved with basketball. We have a great hockey program. We have a great baseball, softball, track and field. Everybody's competitive at Nebraska Omaha. So let's make basketball competitive. I think that's the plan. That's the focus. I don't know if it's the primary thing to make it a basketball school, but I think we want to be competitive along with our peers and be able to compete for conference championships.
You've been really passionate since you've been here, just talking about, you guys have what you need and can envision this thing being a winner. What I guess from an administrative perspective, what have your conversations been like with Adrian and just at that level to get you guys to the place where, hey, we could really build this thing into a winning program?
Well, I think you just want to be competitive. You want to get to where South Dakota State and the North Dakota States, the South Dakotas, you want to get in that avenue where those programs are at. And I think from an administration standpoint, they're working on doing that. They're working on getting us to that point where we can compete with those schools, not just on the field and on the court, but even from a resource standpoint. Yeah. We want to be able to do that. So if they're working at it, we're working at it. It's going to be a great partnership, and it should produce a winning mentality and a winning program.
I mean, how big of a deal? Just thinking about this specific part of it, Coach. How big of a deal is having a place like Baxter Arena that you can call your own?
It's a game changer. It's a game changer. It is the best facility in the Summit League, and that's what we're selling. You're going to play in a first class facility, and Now we got to get people in the seats, and that's the next job for us, to get people in the seats and put out a product that people will come back and continue to watch. You know, a team that's going to play hard, a team that's going to play together, a team that's going to look like they're having fun out there. So that's the goal for us. Administration have plans to get people in the seats. You know, they've already done a great job of providing a facility like Baxter Arena. So we're excited. We're excited about the potential, man, of this place.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing you've driven home every time. I guess I'll just finish off here then. 10 years down the line. I mean, I'm sure you've thought about this. You've probably dreamt about it. What is Omaha basketball, look like in the long term? Like when you think about, hey man, this place can be really good. What does that actually look like in your head?
Well, some of it goes back to just my belief in how you play the game, because I think fans have to be able to relate to that.
Yeah.
To get them involved, to get them engaged. And then you got to keep them engaged. Winning does that. Winning keep you involved. So division is one, putting out a product that everybody can recognize. Two, playing basketball the right way and winning. Then when you do that, I think this city is a sports town. These people love sports. They're going to come. They're going to support it because it is Omaha's team. Now we have an arena that hosts 7,500 people. Hey, let's make this a place where it's hard to get a ticket to Nebraska-Omaha basketball games.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. People will support a winner. There's no doubt about it here in this town. Hey, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time, and I know you've done a lot of these over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, no problem at all, guys. I enjoy it, and we're trying to build something special. We need the city of Omaha to get behind us. So anytime I can get on and talk about our program, I'm happy to do it.
Yep. Get settled in, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
That is Coach
Bye-bye.
Chris Crutchfield of the Omaha Mavericks men's basketball program. I mean, that's what you got to love, right? He's got an absolute definitive vision for how he wants it to work and how he wants it to look. And it's multifaceted, right? It is from a basketball perspective. It is from a administrative support perspective. It's what the building looks like when it's rolling, right? I can't wait. This is going to be fun to see how this thing goes. And then, who the players are. I imagine that him and his staff that he's built so far, they're going to be pretty aggressive. I think whether it's in the transfer portal, junior college guys, high school guys around here. And that's one of the things that people look around the city, at least just here in our little bubble in Omaha, and have always kind of seen. It's like there's a lot of guys. Omaha basketball, high school basketball in the city of Omaha is really, really good. And it doesn't churn out that many Division I players. And, Omaha could be a landing place for those guys as well. We are going to take a break here. We'll start things off. Thanks to Coach Crutch for joining the show. We'll come back more up next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
When life gives you lemons, it's time for Godfather's Pizza Spring Feast, featuring my new lemon bar streusel. This tangy, lemony dessert is perfect with any medium specialty pizza, piled high with the best toppings, and lots of them, plus loads of mozzarella on top. Add any medium one-topping pizza, and you got my new spring feast. But you better hurry. Summer's right around the corner. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Do you want the best for your car? Then fill up with premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with double the cleaning detergent, protecting your engine from corrosion and damage so it can work at its best. And that, my friend, increases your mileage for more cha-ching in your pocket. Plus, when you fill up with premium at Circle K, you can save up to 20 cents per gallon. Offer valid Thursdays or Fridays at participating stores. For details, visit CircleK.com. Circle K. How convenient.
For Creighton Sports News, tune into Blue Jay Banter every Monday night at 6. And if 1 hour isn't enough for your Blue Jay fix, check out BlueJayBanter.com. Get up-to-the-minute recruiting news, commentary, and chat with other Blue Jay fans. That's Blue Jay Banter, Monday night at 6 on 1620 The Zone.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgaard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Hey, thanks a lot to Coach Chris Crutchfield. Coach Chris Crutchfield. Say that one, Josh. Go.
Coach Chris Crutchfield.
See?
Yeah.
Only professionals. Professionals only.
Yeah.
Professional talkers.
That's why you're you, and I'm me.
That's right. Josh is better at talking than I am the majority of the time.
That cannot be true.
You wouldn't think, but here we are. Thanks, Coach, for joining us, and we're super excited to see where that thing goes and ends up. We do have a busy show today. Jacob Padilla will join here in just a few minutes at the top of the hour. Sam McKewon. After that, Michael Bruntz in the noon hour, as we normally do. A lot of stuff to get through today. There are mock drafts dropping. I did a little compare. Dane Brugler's the athletic mock draft. Always one to watch every year, and he's one of the best draft analysts in the game. And he did his 7-round full mock draft and then his player ratings. After that, there were some interesting pieces. I pulled each of the Big Ten teams and how many guys they have on this list. The numbers might be a little bit surprising. We have a revamped FPI, and that is surprising. Have you seen this morning, Josh?
Is this the predicted division winners thing?
Yeah. So ESPN
shocking.
has their FPI out, and one of the things they give you a predictive win total, they rank you, and then they do your like percentage to make the playoff, percentage to win 6 games, percentage to win the division. Nebraska has the best chance percentage-wise, according to the ESPN FPI, to win the Big Ten West.
You could say they are the favorite.
Oh man, I did not see that coming today. But that one dropped in on us. So we'll have that at some point throughout the show. We also have to speak about Spokane-style pizza.
Oh, we need to. I know it's a busy show, a lot of guests, not a lot of free time on the show today.
Oh, we have to get this in.
We have to.
This is important.
Monsters out there.
And
living among us.
Already a good old fashioned old man baseball argument.
Yes.
With Clayton Kershaw being taken out of the game after a 7-inning, 80-pitch perfect game.
Thank you, Dave Roberts, you beautiful doofus.
Yesterday with 13 strikeouts. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I do when these things happen, too. just okay. So just to give you a preface on this, why don't we just do this right now?
All right,
Let's do the Clayton Kershaw thing.
All right.
This will not be best thing I saw in baseball yesterday.
Nope.
That will belong to another person. By the way, we do owe an apology for best thing in baseball.
When we do the segment, we will bring that up. Very poorly planned.
So we'll get there. Clayton Kershaw, 7 innings yesterday, 80 pitches, 13 strikeouts. Clayton Kershaw, he's back. He's throwing a perfect game. And let's start this off here. Usually, this is the exact type of thing that would have my head blown up all over the room. I freaked out. I lost my mind. I don't know why I feel this passionately about it. I would say this generally, it's not an overarching blanket thought. I don't like pitch counts. I don't like pitch counts. I think guys can throw longer than I think we a lot of times do preventative stuff and pretend like, hey, man, guys can get pushed more than you think they can. We're dealing with an older guy here, Clayton Kershaw. Usually, this would be the exact type of thing that I would lose my mind about. As I wrote in the rundown, Josh, if you could see it right now, this is exactly. I was fuming while writing it. This is exactly the bleep that pisses me off.
There's a swear word in there.
Because it revolves around the idea. I remember when Kevin Cash pulled Blake Snell out of the World Series a couple years ago in the 6th inning, and he was rolling right along with however many pitches, but they wanted to play the matchups, and it all, of course, ended up blowing up in their faces. It usually comes back to a hardline stance for some baseball people on analytics and matchups and what works best here and what works best to get this out in this moment. And it lacks a bit of a long-term picture for me. That's some of my complaint on one single game baseball analytics, that it sometimes ignores situational awareness. But this is not analytics. What happened yesterday with Clayton Kershaw getting pulled out of the game after the 7th inning, after throwing 80 pitches, I feel like I have to reiterate this because it's ridiculous. 80 pitches, 13 strikeouts. What happened yesterday was not analytics. This is the lockout. So it actually is double mad, because I blame the major league owners for robbing us of a potential Clayton Kershaw. I mean, not just perfect. I mean, first of all, perfect games only happened 22 times in Major League Baseball history. We're not talking about a no-hitter here, which has happened 1,000 times, whatever the number is. Perfect games happen 22 times ever. This is special. And he was headed that route. Now, who knows if he would have finished it. But I believe that the owner's lockout prevented us from seeing a perfect game yesterday by Clayton Kershaw, one of the game's elite pitchers, or historically known as one of the game's elite pitchers. Maybe not at the top of his game right now, but man, did he have a great day yesterday. This is the type of thing you put on a Hall of Fame plaque, right? Say he threw a perfect game. He won a world championship, and he was a key player for the Dodgers for a lot of years, however many Cy Youngs, and he threw a perfect game.
Hasn't happened in 10 years.
Yep. Well, when was the last one? Was it Phil Humber?
Felix Hernandez.
Oh, yes. King Felix threw one. That's right. That was a great day.
3 of them happened in 2012, oddly enough.
King Felix, Humber.
Yep.
And give me the team for the other one.
Giants.
Oh, Kane.
Yes.
Yeah. There's actually a great, if you go on Baseball Reference, they score each of the games, like the greatest games pitched basically of all time, and it gives it like a number. And I think the Matt Cain one, and there was one last year that was almost a perfect game and it missed by like a walk. Maybe it was the Carlos Rodon no-hitter last year. That was scored as like basically one of the greatest games pitched of all time. Anyway, side route. The pitchers, the excuse. Now, I'm not excusing Dave Roberts taking him out of the game because I still think you should have put him in. And if I'm Clayton Kershaw, I'm probably freaking out. Yeah, I'm probably like, dude, I don't care that it's April and I don't care that I haven't had a big ramp up to this. If I'm him, and especially Clayton Kershaw, right? You would think you would have the pull to say this. He would say, Coach, like if I get to 100 pitches, then we can have a discussion.
Yeah.
But I'm at 80.
I wanted to see him get a little further. Like
right.
80, let's talk, 85, come out to the mound, ask me how I'm feeling.
Right. So with all that being said, I think he should have I still think he should have stayed in the game. But that's why that happened yesterday. So normally I'd be freaking out about analytics and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not like anti-analytics, but there's some applications of analytics that I don't necessarily agree with on a game by game basis. But it wasn't that yesterday. So blame your local major league owner for what we saw yesterday in baseball.
I get
what we were robbed of.
Yeah, I get the decision, but I feel like something was still taken from me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I still think he should have stayed in.
Kershaw said after the game that it was the right decision. Do you believe him? I'm going to put that up on the poll.
No, I think he's playing nice.
Yeah. Because, Kershaw's got a no-hitter, like, under his belt. Like, he's done that.
Yep.
This is a perfect game. This is rarefied air. And it's not like Kershaw needs that to cement his resume or anything like that, but it's a nice little notch in the belt.
Oh, yeah.
Especially,
like I said, it goes on
his age and health.
It goes on your Hall of Fame plaque. It says, however many World Series, Cy Youngs. Let's see what it would be for Kershaw.
He's 34.
He won an MVP. He won 3 Cy Youngs. He's an 8-time All-Star. He won a World Series. He's won a Gold Glove. 5-time ERA title. And perfect game. But not so much. Not yesterday. And the lockout.
Shortened spring training, shortened his prep time. He didn't pick up a baseball till January.
Or at least if I'm Dave Roberts, that's the excuse I'm using. Like, it's just, short ramp up time. We got to keep our guys safe.
Dave Roberts has done this before, though.
He has.
He has pulled pitchers who are perfect, seemingly out of nowhere.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm Dave Roberts, how are you making that decision? Like, because usually you err on the side of like, yeah, I think he's going to, like he's going out on a limb by taking him out of the game.
I get it. He's got the injury history. You want him for October, not April, but 80 pitches, like
yeah, he said yesterday.
80.
Sure, I would have loved to have him do it, but maybe we'll get it. Oh, this was Kershaw. Sure, I would have loved to do it. Maybe I'll get another chance. I knew my pitch count going in wasn't going to be 100. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do to come out of a game when you're doing that. We're here to win. This was the right choice.
You got to let him start the 8th and see how it goes.
Dave Roberts said after the 6th, when he talked to Kershaw about where he was at, Kershaw said he wanted to get to 80 to 85. After that, Roberts didn't want to push him anymore, especially with the short spring. And Kershaw only built up to 5 innings and 75 pitches previously. They really,
I get it.
Major league teams are huge believers in that. Like you have to stack it and stack it. Like it has to be, the next step. You can't skip a step. I think we could have skipped a step yesterday. He's been in the big leagues for what, 12 years?
Yeah, it's got to be a little routine to him at some point.
Right. It's not like he's just like sitting in his basement during the off season.
There's an element of it's like riding a bike, right? I get it, but gosh. So I'd like to have seen it.
My anger, unfortunately, is a little cut down at the knees today.
Then they pull him and give up a hit right away.
I would have rather been more angry. Could have been our first huge baseball rant of the year. But we were even robbed of that.
I don't know. Some people think you're get a real stadium rant.
Yeah.
That was just a little short rantlet.
Rantlet. Yeah, I like that.
But people have feelings about that.
They did. There was at least one guy who was not having it.
He was not.
We're going to have Jacob Padilla of Hail Varsity coming up here on the other side. We'll talk some basketball with him. We'll have some football questions in there too, based off of what we saw at the spring game on Saturday. We'll do that next here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. It's the NBA play-in tournament, and it rolls on tonight. A couple more games. There are no sure things, of course, except one. One sure thing. Bet at least $20 in same-game parlays on Fanduel Sportsbook, and you'll get an instant bonus, win or lose. That's right. Not only do you get to enjoy the NBA's best, or kind of best, fighting it out to advance to the playoffs, but FanDuel is giving all customers a bonus for getting in on the action. And the more you bet, the bigger your bonus. Look at the two games tonight. We got Atlanta and Cleveland. We got New Orleans and the Clippers. And the great thing about those games, I mean, there's two NBA games that you could bet on, and then you can go inside of them. You can take any player points, rebounds, and then you parlay those together within a single game. Only FanDuel Sportsbook lets you do that. That's why the app is so great, and that's that's just one of the reasons. It's also safe, easy to use, and you'll get your winnings fast. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up with promo code Happer to make every moment more. Don't just watch the NBA play-in tournament. Be a part of it. Bet at least $20 in same-game parlays and get an instant bonus, win or lose. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Bonus issued is knowledge-trouble free bets that expire in 7 days. Max bonus, $100. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
If the path to finishing your degree was sidetracked by work, kids, or income, Metropolitan Community College will meet you where you are in life today. We make completing your degree affordable and convenient with a flexible class schedule, online or on campus, that will fit into your schedule while you work or raise your family. Your path forward starts now, and Metropolitan Community College is with you every step of the way. Register today. Classes start June 6th. Get started at mccneb.edu/adults.
Email Sharp and Benning on Equitable Bank inbox with your love, your hate, whatever your hot takes are. We're here for you. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Shop Lanahaw Nurseries for all your mulch needs. Best quality mulch at the best price. You'll notice our prices are lower than anybody else's. That's because you're buying your mulch straight from where it's made. Convenient delivery or pickup. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Get your Fernando's fix at 2 locations in Omaha for the best Mexican food, 75th of the Pacific and 114th and Dodge. Made fresh your way. You can even hear the fajitas sizzling, and you can also hear the fun of happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 5 p.m. The $10 taco basket, $2 off nachos, discounts off drinks, and always the home of the $6 margaritas at Fernando's, 75th of the Pacific, 114th and Dodge, and now the new home of the 1620 The Zone beer at 75th of the Pacific. It's Fernando's, online at fernandosomaha.com.
Does eating at home have you singing the blues? Stop by Cops, 72nd and Jones, or the Shadow Lake Town Center to grab a delicious pizza, fresh salad, and some tasty charred wings. Cops Shadow Lake Town Center just added 30 new menu items, including salmon, certified Angus beef fillets, ribeyes and sirloins, several pasta dishes, and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Cops, 72nd and Jones, and the Shadow Lake Town Center. Click copspizza.com to see the extensive new Shadow Lake menu.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Nebraska because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Wow, Josh. Wow. This doesn't sound like Basketball Jones to me.
Real amateur hour over here.
Let me know if you find it at any point during the interview.
Any point?
When I'm talking. We're not going to cut Jacob off.
I would never cut Jacob off.
Yeah, only cut me off.
I don't know where it is in this labyrinth of files.
We're now joined by a very, very disappointed Jacob Padilla of Hill Varsity. Hello, Jacob.
Hey, Connor.
I know. Same here, man. Same here. Well, if there's one thing, I guess you still have the Suns.
I do have them. Very grateful.
What do we think of the play-in tournament? I love it. Like I enjoy that these teams kind of have to, like, there's some stakes in the early part of the playoffs because that first round isn't all that, fun. It's kind of predictable. Although the seeds are, can be a little weird with what happens in the regular season. I'm kind of all in on the play-in tournament.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it when they first, the idea of it when they first decided they were going to do it. I still don't love it just from the team standpoint. Like you look at the record for the team in 7th compared to 10th or whatever. It's like, why do these guys have to play another game when they've won 10 more games than the other team or whatever? But that being said, it's produced some pretty good moments. Last night obviously wasn't great, but obviously the Minnesota game that was tremendous. The first night was some pretty good basketball. So it's produced some good moments. Obviously last year as well, we kind of got introduced to it. So I guess more basketball, more the merrier.
It's made for teams, and this is what I said after Minnesota had their whole thing. And here we go.
The only cure for our basketball Jones. Hail Varsity's Jacob Padilla on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Thank you, baby. So I said this after now he's feeling better. After Minnesota, they had their thing that night. New Orleans had a pretty good crowd last night too, and that was kind of fun. But it feels like it was really made for those teams who don't get the playoff experience very often or haven't gotten in a long time, and then we'll just go kind of all out to win that game, rather than a team like the Nets who their fans didn't care. They have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They just happened to be in a position where they had to be in a playing game. And it's like, this is going to be a foregone conclusion. We don't actually care about this. Or Minnesota, it meant everything.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously there was a lot of jokes made at their celebration. And to be fair, I'm always in favor of letting the jokes fly. So that's fine.
Yeah,
but also, I totally understand why they celebrate the way they do. And I'm in favor of doing however you want.
I was mostly just making fun of Pat Bev.
Yeah, and that's fair. I think a lot of people have certain feelings about Beverly and many of the things he's done throughout his career, like running up and shoving somebody from behind. But that's in the past now.
Yeah,
I'm glad the Suns won't have to run into him in the first round just for that fact alone.
Exactly. Hey, yesterday we'll get to some football stuff here in a second. I want to ask you about Bruce Chubbuck Jr. going over to Central. That feels like a pretty big move for him to go from South over to Central and take over there. And it feels like a pretty good kind of heir to what Eric Barron's had going over at Central.
Yeah, I know I had heard that rumor. a week or so ago, or I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
It's interesting. As far as I know, Bruce Chubbuck Sr. still hasn't made a final decision yet about what he's going to do moving forward. So yeah, I don't. I don't know that they had a ton of candidates that they were super high on for that. I mean, you look at Central, it's basically been Eric Barons. It's not,
No doubt.
Yeah, so it's not like obviously the Champ High nickname and all that. That all happened under Barons and nobody else. So it's not like it's the like one of the best jobs in terms of just kind of ready made for anybody to come in and succeed. But obviously, you can certainly win there if you're the right coach. And I do like it's kind of interesting the Chubbuck Jr. kind of going off on his own instead of just kind of waiting and taking over at Sal. It's going to kind of start his own thing and kind of create his own legacy separate from what he's been doing with his dad. So all things considered, I think that's a pretty darn good hire for Central.
Jacob, you wrote about a couple of the guys that popped at the spring game for you over at Hale Varsity. I felt like there was more flashes maybe on and this is regardless of like the totality of the unit's performance. I feel like there was more flashes probably on the defensive side of the ball than there were on the offensive side of the ball. I guess, what are some of them that stuck out to you?
Yeah, and obviously it's always tough to tell when with the format and considering who they were going against. But I thought the pass rushers looked pretty good. Like each of those kind of mean guys had 1 to 2 reps. You're like, oh, okay. Garrett Nelson, obviously, I like just seeing. I think he looks different. Like there was one, and they highlighted it on the play too. Like the bend and the speed around the edge. Just like, all right, that's. He didn't look quite like that before. Obviously, he's always been a kind of a high motor type of work hard pass rusher. If he's continuing to kind of progress with his speed and agility and kind of technique around the end too, that could be a big deal. Obviously, he had 2 sacks in the game. Jamari Butler had the other sack, and he put Ezra Miller flat on his side. In the process, has kind of completely discarded him on the way to the quarterback. Made a really nice play there. I know Blaze Gunnarsson flushed Chubba Purdy out of the pocket at one point. Caleb Tanner, I think, created some pressure. So like you had all those guys that are kind of in the mix showed some things. And now obviously I think the offensive tackle struggled, and
for sure
they're going to have to figure that picture out once people get healthy. But I did like what I saw from them, especially. And we'll see kind of what that looks like. Obviously, they're looking to get some O'Shawn Mathis in there, trying to add him to that group. That would obviously be the kind of immediate help you need. But I did like kind of what I saw from a guy like Jamari Butler, who's more of a kind of long-term guy, but is continuing to progress as a young guy.
I was thinking about Nelson a little bit, and I don't know. I'll just bounce this off of you. Like, I think a guy like Garrett Nelson, who played early in his career somewhat out of necessity, and then has really, grown obviously throughout his time, and he's become way more than the player that I think I thought he would be at the beginning of his career. But maybe a guy like that, in this new era of college football, might have been recruited over out of the transfer portal early. Now, maybe not. Kind of depends on what you get out of the portal. But I think there will be even more now of a need or a want from coaches to, if they feel like they're going to be young in a spot and inexperienced at a spot, instead of throwing the younger guy out there, you can go get a little bit more experienced guy in the portal. Like Garrett Nelson could be a bit of a dying breed.
Yeah, and that's something that I think coaches really have to be kind of cognizant of.
I agree.
Make smart decisions, because that's like you hear from like people talking about like anytime a team loses like multi-year starters from a group or whatever, oh, they got to go get this and this and this out of the portal. At the same time, you recruited all these other guys, and the only way for them to get experience is to play, right?
Yep.
So I think, like, if you're constantly just going to the portal to try to get all your starters a year in and year out, it's going to be a tough thing to sustain. Like, you're not going to have the hit rate every single year that, like, Mel Tucker did at Michigan State. Like, that was about as good as you probably could have hoped for a situation like that. And especially for a school like Nebraska, like, they're not going to be able to go land the highest level transfers every single year. They've kind of found a market inefficiency there with some of the FCS guys moving up, and they've had some success there.
Which I like.
Maury Toure last year, and the specialist this year, and we'll see kind of what Chris Klarovic becomes this year. But that's definitely a smart place to go, because maybe the competition won't be quite as fierce as landing a guy from another Power 5 team that is a sure thing. But at a certain point, you do have to trust the guys that you recruited and trust your development and give these guys a chance to go out there and play. And we've seen what happened with guys like Nick Henrich and Luke Reimer, who kind of played relatively early in their careers. And now they're going to be multi-year starters and guys that are going to form the backbone of your defense, along with a guy like Garrett Nelson. So it really does come down to your kind of understanding of the players on your roster and how well you recruited kind of the base of your program. You don't want to come in and replace every starter you lose with a transfer portal guy, because a lot of time those guys are in the portal for a reason, and it's not just because they wanted a fresh start. Maybe they weren't good enough to get on the field elsewhere to the degree that they were comfortable with. So you got to determine, all right, is this guy is this guy clearly better than what we have and what the guy that we have could become with this experience?
Yeah.
So it's going to have to continue to be kind of a hybrid where, yeah, you keep developing and building up your depth and your team from within, and then you go plug holes that you feel like, all right, this just isn't going to work with what we've got. We've got to go get somebody else, and then hope that you hit on that.
I hope we don't lose our patience, with some of that, because I mean, you could take maybe like Austin Allen, for example, where there's some examples of dudes who, all of a sudden they started getting on the field a lot more, kind of out of necessity later in their career, and then after a few games, you wonder, why wasn't this guy playing? Where did this guy kind of come from? Like, I hope we don't lose that type of player.
Yeah, for sure. And that's how you build up a strong program. And it's going to be hard. You're going to still have to continue to recruit high school guys, and it's going to be hard to do so if you don't have proof of concept to sell to these guys of kids that came in and played early and became multi-year starters and kind of work their way up the depth chart. Like, you can go and sell Austin Allen's career to tight end recruits and Garrett Nelson's career. Like, hey, you can come be this guy for us if you put in the work. So you're going to have to, again, the only way to be good is to take advantage of every possible opportunity, every avenue to build up your roster. And that's a big one.
I know it's hard to take a lot from the offense, but you wrote about Anthony Grant, and I noticed it too. It looked like to me that really that entire room feels like it's in a better spot right now. Not only with the addition of Grant, but I think some of the other guys got better. There's obviously Yance weight loss, and he looks really good right now. And Ramir Johnson, he's steady, but maybe there's something there as well. Like, I feel like the running back room was maybe the standout position to be on Saturday that I felt like, hey, that could be definitely better than it was a year ago.
Yeah, and even the walk-ons looked pretty good when they got out there. And you mentioned Anthony Grant had the most impressive run of the day. I think pretty sure he was touched down by Simon Odie in the backfield.
Seemed like it, but that's okay.
Way to play through the whistle, kid. Way to make a play. And you kind of wonder, like, you don't want guys that like dance too much and always looking for the big play, but like, you look at that play, I don't like that was the case. I think every single like step he made as part of that run set up the run. He wasn't indecisive. He's like, okay, I see this guy here. I'm cutting here to cut here to get to the opening. It was just really good footwork. And obviously we've got a couple guys that are going to be in this picture come the fall. We'll see when Gabe Urban Jr. kind of gets back to full health. We'll see what A.J. Allen can do once he gets to campus. But I do like that the collection they've got there, and the guy leading that group. Now they just need to get some blocking in order to take advantage of what they have in that room.
Yep, no doubt. Jacob Padilla of Hail Varsity. All right, Jacob, we'll let you go. Appreciate the time. Glad we found your music. Nice job, Josh. And we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good.
That is Jacob Padilla, Hail Varsity. Yeah, Basketball Jones. We'll talk a little basketball, a little football. He mixes it up. He covers it all, like a lot of our guests do. Have you noticed that, Josh? A lot of our guests are versatile.
Very versatile, yeah.
Look at like Sam, who's coming up in a minute. He of course is the beat writer for Nebraska football, but has covered a lot of women's basketball.
He likes women's basketball like a lot.
He covered a season of I think he covered men's basketball last year for Nebraska, and then of course, is very familiar with everything that's going around Omaha. Bruntz, baseball, basketball, football. We pride ourselves on versatility here.
Jack of all trades.
Get you a show that has range.
No one-trick ponies.
That's exactly right. So thanks to Jacob for joining the show. We'll talk to Sam in just a couple minutes. But we'll start him off with the old FPI question. I don't even know what the
months of content out of that one story.
I don't even know what the question is. It's just like, hey, here you go. I guess Nebraska has the best chance to win the Big Ten West. Do you believe it? Do you buy it? There's that. And then on the other hand, you look at the Dane Brugler mock draft that came out today, and 4 Huskers were in it, and 3 of them in the top 4 rounds, 2 second rounders and a 4th. Cam Jurgens has just kept on rising up draft boards in recent weeks. I think I've seen basically every they were talking about him on NFL Network the other day, right, Josh? And I think I've seen about every NFL analyst be like, I kind of like this Cam Jurgens guy. I was listening to the guy that they had on Gary and Damon's show this morning, and he was talking about how the gap between Cam Jurgens and Tyler Linderbaum isn't that big, which was like, okay, all right. We feel like that's probably the case. We feel like he's a pretty good player. Here's a question. If Cam Jurgens didn't have the snap, like, I feel like this is the type of guy that Nebraska fans would absolutely completely rally around and be like, we'd be blowing the horn of, man, why is this guy not, this guy's somebody's going to get a steal here. This guy had a really, really productive career. He was awesome. And whatever, I don't feel like we're really championing Cam Jurgens as a Nebraska fan base right now. And my sense is because he had the snapping issues, which cleaned up quite a bit.
That's what it feels like.
If you can get over that piece, it's a pretty airtight tape there for Cam. And it feels like there's some NFL draft analysts that have got over that piece of it too. You put him in the right scheme, and he's got a chance. And everybody's looking at him as a center too. So obviously there's not that much of a worry. I like sometimes they list him categorically in different areas like interior offensive, but I haven't seen him. I haven't seen really anybody say, yeah, well, if the center thing doesn't work out, he could be a guard. I mean, that's the thought that we all have, but there's no real thought in anybody else's mind that's like, yeah, he's not going to be a center because he can't snap the ball. That issue seems to be gone. or at least it is in the eyes of the draft world, which is really important right now. We're finally kicking up. I finally caught the draft draft today. I was like, hey, you know what? Yes, let's go. Let's do this. I looked at a full mock draft, and I didn't hate myself. I kind of liked it. I kind of enjoyed it.
2 weeks from today. I feel like that's like a good amount of time.
There's still not much drama. Like there's no storylines, and that's what's holding the draft back from being a consistent talking point right now.
Yeah.
But there is something to discuss there. If Nebraska gets 3 guys drafted in the first 4 rounds, which would be a better draft performance than many recent years.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just pull it up right now. Coming off of a season in which they went 3-9, obviously doesn't reflect very well. So last year they had a 5th and a 7th. Year before they had a 6th and a 7th. Year before that they had a 6th. Year before that they had just a 5th. In 2016, that was their biggest recent draft. So you do the math on this one, which is better. It's pretty easy. Now we'll see what happens and how it actually plays out. But in 2016, so after 2015, which was Riley's first year, they went 5-7, or 6-7, I guess, because they beat UCLA in the bowl game. Foster Farms Bowl. Woo! Malik Collins, Vincent Valentine, Alex Lewis, and Andy Janovich all drafted in that draft. It looks a lot like that to me right now. Collins was a 3rd, Valentine was a 3rd, Lewis was a 4th, Jano was a 6th. Last time Nebraska had a 2nd rounder was Amir Abdullah. Well, I guess Amir Abdullah and Randy Gregory went 6 picks away from each other in the 2015 draft. Both 2nd rounders. Randy was a 1st-round talent. He just had some issues. Amir? He's found a way to stay in the league for this long. Was a very, very good college running back. Nebraska hasn't had a 2nd rounder since 2015. Will they have one in 2 weeks? So we can get into that on the show today. But coming up next, we'll have Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald. He'll join. We'll talk about the takeaways from the spring game from him, and where things are at headed into a very important summer. And yeah, we'll ask about that FPI next year on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
This won't be the first time you hear me say this year. And this is the case for both Boston and New York. Get a real ballpark. I know you're revered in the Green Monster and the short porch and Yankee Stadium and all that stuff. Get a real ballpark. It should be more than 310 down the line. I shouldn't be able to hit a pop fly with a 25-mile-an-hour wind and it blow out of the ballpark. This isn't spring training. This isn't the minor leagues. Get a real ballpark.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Wind advisory in effect Thursday with west winds gusting up to 45 miles per hour at times. Also very high fire danger with a combination of windy and very dry conditions. Mostly sunny with highs in the mid-50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Get the lowest rates of the year at GenesisHealthClubs.com.
Email Sharpen Betting on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me at Gary at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. The weather is finally turning. Days are getting longer, and that means more chances for you to get out and play the game of golf. Give them a call today at 402-498-0220. Book your tee times. Ask about opportunities for leagues, weekly things that you can do, whether it is out on the golf course or inside the Top Tracer building. They have you covered. 402-498-0220. They're located just north of Dodge on 120th Street. Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Be a part of the Host Coffee team today. Host Coffee is hiring a service technician. If you'd like to work for a trusted and loyal family-owned company that understands the needs of working families, Host Coffee has your opportunity. Apply today and join our team at hostcoffee.net/careers.
CM's Outdoor, now a proud part of Ryan Lawn and Tree. For a limited time, get your first lawn or pest application for free. Schedule a free estimate at bestomahala.lawn.com. That's bestomahala.lawn.com.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text and drive.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just text radio to 64,000 to start learning a new language today. RADIO to 64,000.
For Creighton Sports News, tune into Blue Jay Banter every Monday night at 6. And if 1 hour isn't enough for your Blue Jay fix, check out BlueJayBanter.com. Get up-to-the-minute recruiting news, commentary, and chat with other Blue Jay fans. That's Blue Jay Banter, Monday night at 6 on 1620 The Zone.
All right, back here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. Sam McKewon is with us. I tweeted 1 year ago today, I have an announcement to make. Onions are the most valuable vegetable. I'd like to look back at my takes because sometimes I just have this thought and I'm like, let's fire it off. And I'm thinking about this and I think I stand by it 1 year later. Onions are the most valuable vegetable. This led to a whole discussion about potatoes. In my mentions, I didn't think about potatoes. I don't consider potatoes a vegetable. Technically, they may be, even though it's a starch, right? Sam, would you agree that onions are the most valuable vegetable?
Yeah, they're valuable. Broccoli's awfully valuable too. Is corn a vegetable or no?
I don't think I'm going to call it a vegetable here.
Okay.
If that's the case, then yeah, it could be corn.
Corn's up there because you think about all the things that corn does, right? You know, like syrup and flakes, all those things. I don't know. I mean, I think onion's way up there. It's certainly a versatile operation.
That's what we're looking
for.
for.
One thing you can't do with onions is you can't really have them as a side dish. And broccoli, you can.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just eat onions. You're right. You can just eat
You can
broccoli.
have pearl onions. Like there's pearl onions that come with like a roast. Some people have pearl onions and do that. But usually onions are part of a dish. They're
Right.
not. But you can't just say you don't have an onion salad, for example, and you'd be hard pressed to find a better salad on the planet than a solid broccoli, bacon, cranberry salad. That's one heck of a salad. And there is no commensurate salad for the onion.
So the argument against the onion is that it's not independently valuable.
Yeah, you can't just go ask the onion to score 40 and win you a game.
Right.
The onion can get triple double. The onion is like that X factor. Draymond Green is the onion. But you can carry a game with broccoli.
Man, that's a good case for broccoli. I didn't see that one coming. I like it though.
Or corn. I think corn would be it.
Yeah, if we're including corn or potatoes, like it's probably over.
Putting corn in there, then you got corn on the cob, and it's basically over. And then of course you have, I'll tell you, I've actually turned more to the street corn. So, there's corn on the cob, and that's good. Popcorn, I don't like that much, but other people do.
What?
But that's street corn. That's special stuff.
You mean the stuff with the corn on the cob with the stuff all over it, or just like the corn that's off the cob?
Well, there's two different kinds. So there's street corn with all the stuff on it, and that's good. But then there's the corn in the cup. Yeah, that stuff is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That to me, if I'm gonna pick a I don't want to mispronounce it. Elote? Is that how you?
I think that's right. Yeah.
That's grilled corn, but then shuck it off the cob and put it in a cup.
Yeah.
And oh man,
that's pretty special.
This is high level stuff. This is
is something that we have to have a lot of respect for.
Yeah.
So I'm big on the street corn. Like that's a top 10 side for me now.
We may have to just place corn off to the side just for the sake of this conversation. Embrace
Maybe
debate.
go side dishes. What's the top 10 side dishes? What's your top 10 side?
Well, it depends on what
kind of
it depends on what kind of meal you're having and what kind of entree you're having.
Yeah, I suppose it does. Fries are very, very versatile. You can do fries with a lot of different things.
Yeah, or
but you can also
a fried
do
potato.
fries up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You've left me with a lot to think about. This is
Who's the broccoli of Nebraska football? I don't know.
who's the broccoli of Nebraska football?
Who's the onion?
Yeah, who would be the guy that would come in, not independently valuable, but so if we're talking about the onion, not independently.
A lineman.
Yeah, probably a lineman and is important to the operation.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Isaac Gifford had a very oniony game.
Hey, that's a good
I thought
one.
Isaac played really well. That was a good sign to see him play well because he is part of the two-headed, whatever you want to call it, that's replacing JoJo Doman. And those two guys got to be good. They really do.
Well, it was him. I mean, I thought he was one of the guys among the guys who flashed the most maybe on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree. I think he was one of the top five. I mean, Garrett Nelson was number one.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
looked like a Watt. Like, he could have been called Garrett Watt. Like a TJ, JJ, the other one, and Garrett.
Garrett Watt.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he looked different.
Frank hasn't had a lot of Watt brothers over the time, but he looked like an honorary Watt on Saturday. I mean, he was getting around people, running all over, getting all hyped up, throwing his arms up, harump, all that stuff. Like I'm like, what are you, a Watt? But no, that was good to see. Like, they need somebody, JoJo was kind of the lifeblood of it last year. Cam was too. They need someone who's got the energy, who's going to have some juice. So I thought Garrett played really well. I think Isaac played well. I think the running back picture was pretty good. Jamari Butler did some nice things. Nice to see that he stuck with it because I think he's in his third year now, and he's starting to figure it out. It takes him 2 or 3 years to get it figured out, so that's kind of where it's at.
Well, it's interesting that those guys popped and Nelson and even Gifford, who'll be doing a little bit of that, and Jamari Butler. And then you kind of throw along the idea that they're really going after a guy like O'Shawn Mathis, who could continue to bolster Nebraska's pass rush. I mean, that while they're going to need some help on the defensive line, that's something that could be a real strength, it feels like, for Nebraska's defense. Now, caveat, they're going up against Nebraska's offensive line and the format of the game and all that stuff. But, I mean, there were some individual pieces that look pretty good.
Right. That can continue to get better. The one thing that Commander did not do with Doman much is he did not rush Doman. And if he had, I think Nebraska's pass rush would have been better.
They needed him in coverage too much.
They did, and they prefer to do it that way and have him cover tight ends and carry guys downfield. And he was really good at that. But JoJo could have done those things. They just didn't have him doing those things. And so now I don't think the pass rush is going to take much of a step back, because even though I think Damian Daniels had a nice interior pass rush, and I think Ben Stilley was an effort guy, I don't think they'll take much of a step back. In fact, I think they'll get better. They get O'Shawn Mathis. I think you can feel good that they're going to get better. Interior pass rushes in a 3-4 or whatever you want to call what they do, which is kind of a 2-4-5 or a 4-2-5, are hard. They just are. You're going up against guards, and if you get in a true 3-4 and you put a guy over the nose and that guy is hellacious, he might be able to get 3 or 4 sacks from there because he might be able to, make that center look stupid and do that. But it's really hard. The weakness of a 3-4 is a pass rush. Like, you have to generate it because 3 guys aren't going to get there on their own. And so you have to generate that pass rush. And you can either do that by turning it into a 4-2-5, where you put 2 guys as 9 techniques like they do with Nelson and Tanner, and then the 2 interior guys, and then you twist some people inside.
Or you got to bring it from outer space.
Usually what they did last year is they brought it from 2 places. One, they brought Luke Reimer on very quick blitzes, and he would just jam himself up into a gap. Or you use a twist, or you've got to bring pressure from the edge. And they did that a couple of times. Chenander's become more modest in his approach. I think what you don't want to do in the Big Ten is give a Big Ten offense an easy 70-yard touchdown. And sometimes when you bring 6 or 7, you're asking you might get home, but at the same time you won't. You might also give up a really big play. And so I think Chenander has tweaked that a little. They're a little bit more conservative than they were when he got here. I think it's probably worked well for them because Big Ten offenses aren't great in the red zone. So the pass rush piece, I think that's going to get better, but it won't necessarily be the answer, so to speak.
I was just talking about this a little bit, and you mentioned Jabari Butler, who's really waited his turn, and maybe not so much waited, but he's worked. And Garrett Nelson, they haven't necessarily had similar paths, but Nelson played at the beginning of his career, and you kind of wondered, he's going to have to work through some stuff, and now he's become a really good player. I think a lot because of that experience. In today's college football, maybe some coaches would be more likely to kind of just be a little impatient there, grab a guy out of the transfer portal and not wait for a guy to, play through mistakes as a freshman or sophomore. That stuff is so valuable. Where do you think that goes, especially at a place like Nebraska, who, they need to be able to recruit the transfer portal, but they also, the lifeblood of their program is always going to be developmental guys. Like it's a really interesting kind of, mix, I think, what it could be.
Well, first of all, that's a great question. And it's one of those questions that you could ask to 7 different people and get 7 different answers.
Yeah.
And it's a 30-minute question in some ways. Like, it's a huge picture question that, like, you got to almost get Scott and Vince, Gwinta, and, Trev and other people in a room and say, okay, going forward, what is our identity going to be in terms of roster composition and player acquisition? I'll be really honest. There is something really attractive and will be really attractive to transfers about Nebraska. Guys that you don't get in the first run. One of those things is those kids are going to come in and they're going to get NIL support. I mean, if they weren't a star at their previous school, even if they're not a star at Nebraska, they're going to get NIL money, and that'll be helpful. Beyond that, the thing that Nebraska excels at is if you come here, you're going to get your degree, and we're going to get you out of here with a Big Ten degree, and that travels a long way. And so there's kids that the bounce back will be Nebraska should hit that hard. I already think they've done really well with Trey Palmer. I think they've done really well with Casey Thompson, and I think they're going to hit well with some other guys too. So that Tommy Hill.
Yeah.
So there's a positive there. Now, what that means is you still have to put a portion energy toward, okay, we're going to go and recruit these high-level recruits, knowing that if they don't make it where they're at, we got a chance to bounce them back to us, just like Tommy Hill. Tommy Hill, Nebraska was probably 2nd or 3rd on Tommy's list before he went to Arizona State, didn't work out at ASU, come to Nebraska. The second half of that question is, okay, so if you want to build a developmental program, then you're looking more at what Iowa and Wisconsin do. Iowa and Wisconsin do not recruit every single corner of the earth. They don't. Now they've got a presence in Georgia. Both programs do. A presence in Florida. Neither one hits the West Coast real hard. And Nebraska, I'm not sure Nebraska should either. So they have their preferences. They recruit a lot of 3-star guys who they then take into their program and develop. They recruit hard in state. So Iowa gets 9 to 12 every year. Wisconsin gets 7 to 10 every year. They take flyers on guys that maybe other teams wouldn't, and they just remain patient. And that's kind of their identity. Wisconsin and Iowa don't add a bunch of transfers. Iowa hasn't added a transfer.
There's 0. Yeah.
So that's one identity. The other identity is what I just laid out. And it's more of a, hey, let's get the local kids. Let's get the kids that we feel good about. Let's get the 15 to 17. And those are our developmental guys. But then we're going to go and basically get bounce backs. We're going to go get transfers who we think fit our program, and that's going to become the identity of the program. If you feel like you could do that and you can pull it off, that's a way to do it. That means you go out and recruit these high-level guys. You may not win first, but maybe you finish third, and finishing third means you finish first in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then you go get your 500-mile guys, and you build locally. That's a little different than what they've done in the past, but I think it's something they got to seriously consider, and it's something they seriously got to consider a quarterback, Connor, because they're not. That operation is not. It's just not hit enough. It's very, very hard to get it right on the quarterback. It's so hard. Wisconsin and Iowa have enough good football players along the line to overcome Graham Mertz and Spencer Petras. And Graham Mertz is a can't-miss guy, and he's missed a lot since he's been there.
Yeah.
And Spencer Petras just isn't very good. And they can kind of withstand that because they have a different kind of program philosophy. But, Minnesota's rolling with Tanner Morgan, and when he's gone after his 6th year, he'll been a 5-year starter. When he's finally gone, they're probably going to go to the portal. It's just so hard to get the quarterback position right anymore that I almost feel like, you go get a guy each year, you cross your fingers that you got a diamond in the rough, but you got one eye on that portal. And you're like, all right, who's coming from USC? Who's coming from Texas? Who's coming from Florida State? You look at the schools that have 4 or 5 4-stars, and you're like, all right, who's coming? Because one of those guys is going to leave, and if that guy's pretty good, we want to add it. What did Nebraska do? They added a quarterback from Texas, and they added a quarterback from Florida State. Now, I think Thompson and Purdy are pretty decent players, but if you told me every 2 years, they were going to add a cast-off quarterback from Texas and from Florida State, I would say you got a better chance of hitting every 2 years on one of those transfers than you do every single year on the guy, the mid 3-star that you pluck out of whatever high school you go to.
Yeah, I'm signing up for that. Oh, yeah, for sure.
But that's the calculation. I don't know what kind of calculations they make as coaching staff, but that's the way you have to think about it. You have to think about it analytically and say, all right, so how do we compose a roster that actually works and fits all the pieces in and doesn't? And we've got to stop. You have to stop being sentimental about it. Like, one of the things that I think they really need to think about is, do you recruit the West Coast anymore? Do you even bother with California and Hawaii and Washington and Oregon? Do you just say, you know what? We have an Eastern-facing school now. We look east. We can't look west anymore, and it does not matter if once upon a time we got LP and Ralph Brown and Dominic Raiola and Fono T, and it doesn't matter. You can't just keep looking westward because you feel you have good feels about what happened in the 90s. That's part of the thing they've got to kind of assess. Nebraska never recruited Georgia the way they're recruiting Georgia now because of Sean Beckton. So, do you just go ahead and roll with Georgia and pull your guys out of the West Coast and say, listen, West Coast is changing. The world out there is different. The kids don't love football the way they did 25 years ago. We're looking east. That kind of thing. How do you handle it? I don't know.
That, and you could only recruit so much, and you do all that and the transfer portal. It's just a lot,
They try to do all, though. That's the thing. They try to do everything.
Yeah.
They try to do everything. It's so aggressive. That's why they were offering 400 guys. We're going to offer everybody because we're going to go everywhere, and we're going to, it's going to be the most national recruiting program out there. And I just wonder if your national recruiting shifts to the transfer portal, and your high school recruiting is built around the 500-mile radius and eastward. If you're going to go outside 500, go get a kid from New Jersey or Georgia or Ohio, something like that, because you're going to be in those states playing football.
Yeah, pare it down just a little bit. That would be my thing. Hey, Sam, before we let you go, quick thought on the FPI, which had Nebraska as the favorite to win the West, winning it 29.2% of the time. Hey, but the maybe the number that jumped out to me more than that was the 93.5% chance to win 6 games or more.
Yeah. Well, that's built on North Dakota, Georgia Southern, Rutgers, Indiana, Northwestern, and then any of the other games, literally any of them, Illinois. And there you go. There's your 6.
There's your 6.
Like, they're saying the Rutgers and Indiana are terrible. And incidentally, I make a big task out of trying to write about each Big Ten opponent that Nebraska has in the spring, and we'll have Michigan for Saturday. I watched Michigan's spring game this week. Michigan was good. Oof. And they did a whole game too. Like, it wasn't any of this, patty cake stuff. I mean, they played. And but I've already done Indiana. Indiana looks rough. I always questioned whether Tom Allen was going to be able to recruit well enough and create a good enough roster, and I don't know that he's going to. I don't feel the same way about Rutgers. So the ESPN FBI has Rutgers kind of down in the tank. Now, I do think it's going to take several years for Rutgers to get where Schiano wants them. I think this will be his 3rd year, and they've got a long ways to go. So the caliber of football player on the offensive and defensive line for Rutgers is not good enough. And by the end of each season, it's like running through, Jell-O. They don't have the players. So the previous guys who were there did not do it. And so Schiano's got to rebuild the entire line. But I think they're better than Indiana. I think Indiana's got serious issues on offense, where I think they're in the 4th offensive coordinator in as many years. I don't know if they know what they're doing exactly on offense. Like, they don't have a quarterback. They don't have the same vision that I think Nebraska does. And so there's one of them. Northwestern is in the hurt locker.
Yeah.
They're trying to rebuild their defensive line with 3 transfers that they brought in mid-season. One from Indiana State, 2 other from 2 other places. I don't know exactly what happened at Northwestern, but after their 2020 season, they lost a bunch of guys, and I don't think they've really replenished them. And Northwestern was bad last year, and I think they're going to be bad again this year. They just, I'm not sure if the recruiting fell off or what, but they don't have the parts. And so I think some of it is the teams that Nebraska is playing, and I think some of it is I think FPI is giving Nebraska a big boost because of Casey Thompson. Casey Thompson has thrown 30 touchdowns in 19 games.
Yeah.
Graham Mertz has thrown 19 touchdowns in 22 games. Casey Thompson's track record coming into Nebraska is really good. Like, it's 30 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in 19 games. That's nothing to shake a stick at. And by the way, I think that's all against Power 5 competition. I'll have to look it up. I'm not sure, but I mean, I think he did almost all of his good work against Big 12 or Pac-12 competition. And if he's that good, then Nebraska should be pretty good. That's why I wish we'd seen him more on Saturday.
Yeah. Looks like he's got a couple. Well, let's see. He had a couple touchdown passes against Rice last year, but looks like that's and then the year before, I guess he had a couple against UTEP. But that's, most of them. Yeah, you're right. Power 5, and then of course the 5 against Oklahoma.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now Casey's working with better skill talent than Adrian was. I mean, let's be honest. But he had a better running back for sure. So the one thing Texas has, they had one of the best running backs in the country, and Nebraska did not. So Casey Thompson had the advantage of handing off to that guy, which makes it easier to throw the ball.
Not bad,
because
yeah.
people are scared to death of that guy. Right. So there were some advantages Casey Thompson had, but then you compare his numbers to Graham Mertz, and that's notable. Like, Nebraska's getting a quarterback that, statistically speaking, is a heck of a lot better than Mertz, is a heck of a lot better than Petrus. I wouldn't say Morgan. We'll see who Illinois' starter is, and is a heck of a lot better than Hunter Johnson or Helinski at Northwestern. So, statistically, they've got the second best quarterback in the West behind Aiden O'Connell, or if you want to put Tanner Morgan in there, you can that too.
All right, Sam. We'll let you go. Appreciate you, man, and we'll talk next week.
All right, bye.
That's Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald. We'll be putting out Sam's corn, broccoli, onion take. That just has to be public, right? We have to get that out there.
New poll alert.
It is up at Happer Show. Well, first of all, I went, are onions the most valuable vegetable? Yes or no? And how do you like your corn? On the cob, in a bowl? I put street corn and elotes in the same.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then popcorn. As those were the kinds of corn that Sam listed. He doesn't like popcorn?
I wanted to dive so much more into that, but
what an odd thing.
He gave us a great, he gave, I mean, there was so much great stuff in there about how to build a football program and a football roster and stuff like that, and what Nebraska's doing and what some of their peers are doing.
All I really cared about was the vegetable rankings.
I was all hung up on the popcorn take.
Yeah.
And Sam loves movies.
Mm-hmm. What's he eat at the movies?
What does he do? By the way, Josh, you smell that? It's happening today.
I don't. It happened yesterday afternoon.
What?
Too. Yeah.
2 days in a row?
Are we going to go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
No Friday. Apparently, this is Cynthia's last day of the week.
Oh.
That's what she said. She says it's my Friday. So I'm popping popcorn.
Way to go, Cynthia. Okay.
By the way, Casey Thompson, so 30 touchdowns, 9 picks in his career. But he had 2 games with 5 touchdowns and 1 game with 6 last year. So he's thrown 16 of those 30 touchdowns in 3 games. Just saying. I don't know what that changes or does or anything like that, but just saying. We will take a quick timeout. We'll come back. Adios. Up next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Are you building a new home? Are you planning a renovation in your current home? Are you tired of your space but don't know what to do? Unique Spaces Cabinetry by Terry gives you a unique one-on-one design experience. We come to you. We measure and create a 3D rendering of your new and brilliant space that's designed just for you. For a free consultation, go to uniquespacesbyterry.com. That's uniquespacesbyterri.com.
Excuse me, Carol?
Hey, Dale. You finished that report I asked for?
Oh, yeah, about that. I didn't get a chance to do it.
No worries. You've been so busy.
Really?
Of course. Dale, you're our hardest worker. You should take an extra week of vacation.
Are you firing me?
No, I promise. Just giving you the break you deserve.
Wow. Thanks, boss. You sure you're not firing me?
Actually, I'm going to promote you. But first, take a week off on the company's dime.
Sometimes things just get better. Like AT&T. We've invested more than $150 million to grow our wireless network coverage to over 99% of Nebraska. So you can talk, text, and share in more places than ever. Visit att.com/Nebraska and learn how to get a free smartphone when you switch to AT&T. Coverage not available everywhere. Over 99% coverage based on third-party data. Network investments based on 2018 through 2020 expenditure.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker upper.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the Fanduel Sportsbook, the NBA play-in tournament. Well, there's no sure thing there except one. If you bet at least $20 in same game parlays on Fanduel, you will get an instant bonus whether you win or lose. That is right. Not only will you get to enjoy the NBA's best duking it out for a right to advance to the playoffs, but FanDuel is giving all customers a bonus for getting in on the action. All you got to do is use our promo code 1620.
That's right. You can pick a team, player, prop, scoring, total, pool it all together, and win big. And FanDuel is an official partner of the NBA. The app is safe, it's easy to use, and you get your winnings fast. And if you're new to FanDuel Sportsbook, sign up today, use our promo code 1620, and make every moment more in this NBA playoff season. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 7 days. Max bonus $100. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Odd Son.
Get your votes in on the poll question. How do you like your corn?
It has inspired me, Connor.
Yeah.
Top 5 ways to eat corn coming up later in the show.
All right. Now, I have a question about corn dogs. That's not corn, really. It's cornbread, cornmeal around it. What is that? It's not a corn dog. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with corn.
Yeah, I wouldn't count it. No.
What is the stuff that goes around the dog? Batter, just fried batter.
Yeah.
What's in the batter?
It's a cornmeal batter.
Cornmeal batter. Okay. I've never really thought about it more than I like this corn dog. I like this thing on a stick. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. Just zap it.
And we got Damon,
put it in my body.
who's apparently too cool to eat corn dogs.
Yeah.
Which
that's not terribly shocking.
It's like, it's on a stick.
I think he eats better than me.
Yeah. He certainly has his opinions.
He does. He's got food takes.
Food takes. That's for sure.
He sneaky player of the game. He's
Oh
not,
yeah.
He will not hey, let's talk about food, but he has food takes.
We've also reached out to Sam about why he doesn't like popcorn. We asked him what he eats at the movie theater. So we'll see if we get a response on that one.
He has not gotten back to me.
We'll get there.
He also might not know it's me texting him.
Random number. Hey, so what do you think about popcorn?
I prefaced it with, we have a follow-up question. What do you eat at the movies if you don't like popcorn? I should have put some type of signature
This
on
is
it.
Josh, by the way.
Yeah, but I didn't. And I don't want to go back to back texts.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
I mean,
Also, Nick here tweets in the show at Happer Show. Connor dropping a seed of doubt right before the break. Way to douse the flame. That's what I'm here for. Big wet blanket. I'm just saying, 30 touchdowns, but 16 of them were in 3 games. And he had some, as Sam said, he laid out there. He had some advantages that he may not have this year. He definitely will not have Bijan Robinson this year. So we'll see how that one works out. But we have odd news. Josh, what do we have today?
we start in Atlanta. Play-in game yesterday between the Hornets and Hawks.
Yep.
The Hornets were delayed getting to the arena Wednesday by a freight train.
Oh, have you? I've had this happen to me before. Well, I guess I don't know how it happened, but
There's tracks surrounding State Farm Arena,
Yeah,
a
that's pretty much the
remnant from a
story.
time when the arena was the site of the city's two major passenger stations. Both stations were torn down decades ago, but many of the tracks remain and are frequented by trains running near the heart of downtown Atlanta. One of those trains stopped on a crossing before the game, blocking the Hornets' chartered buses from reaching the players' entrance on the bottom level of State Farm Arena. The buses were forced to turn around and find an alternate route. They were delayed about 15 minutes.
Oh, come on.
That's not big enough to warrant a news story,
but
but it
that's
is
why-
fun to discuss.
That's why it places itself here on Odd News.
Yes.
So if you've ever tried to navigate through Lincoln, you likely have been a victim of this. My first experience doing this was as a high school kid, and we had a game at Sherman Field, and like we didn't take it was during the summer, so we didn't take the bus. We drove ourselves there, and so I got to that point, and as some may know, there is a train track right outside in the left field of Sherman Field, and I may have been running a couple minutes late, but I was going to make it. I was going to make it right on time. Seemingly everybody else was there. Or this is at least how I remember the story. And the train rolls through. It's going very slow, and sometimes those trains just stop at the crossing unexpectedly for apparently for seemingly no reason. I'm sure there is some sort of reason, but this is like it was in the Pelican situation. This is like a 15-20 minute deal. I was late for the game, or late for when I was supposed to be there, and was benched. And I said, "Coach, can't you see I was behind that train? I was here. The train just blocked me from getting there. There was no other. I couldn't have got there."
Coach doesn't care.
Nope.
It's interesting because the Hornets coach, and I'm sorry, this guy could walk right up to me and I'd have no idea who he was. James Borrego, I don't know.
Sure.
He said, "I've never seen that. I've been coming to this arena for 20 years and never seen a train stop before the game.
Interesting.
Somebody figure it out. I have no idea, but our guys noticed."
That's I'm sure they did.
He's accusing the Hawks of playoff shenanigans.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
Well, that's one of the things, though. Like, even if you knew, there might be some trains in the way. There's definitely some train tracks around the arena. I've never seen it active. Even if you have, when you leave your hotel, in this case, or your house, in a lot of cases, you don't bake it into the cake. You do not bake it into the time that you have.
Nope.
You just don't.
Well,
Even
a train could come. I better leave ungodly early. No.
Even though it is within the realm of possibility that it could happen to you, you would never bake it into the cake. If there's traffic, if there's a wreck, if there's a situation going on out, you're gonna think about that. You might leave early, you might take a different route, but you never plan on a train being in your way, even if it's a possibility.
Before we get to our second story, I have a update from Sam McKewon.
Okay.
When asked what he eats at the movies because he doesn't like popcorn, he responded, "Junior Mints or Milk Duds. Those are fine choices."
Are they?
He says, "The only popcorn I like is kettle corn from a small county fair." Now I have follow-up questions about the size of the fair matter.
Oh, I love Sam. Hey, great pick though. I love kettle corn.
I don't like kettle corn. It's too much. It's just too much.
So wait. So when you go to the pumpkin patch, you're not getting one of those big old things of kettle corn in the bag?
No.
And like having your hands and fingers sticky all day?
No, that is when kettle corn is at its best.
I mean, that's basically what he's talking about. It's not a small county fair, but it kind of is.
Well, yeah. I mean, same recipe. Am I right?
Yeah.
Now I feel like we've done this poll before. Kettle corn, yes or no?
We may have.
It's okay. We can do it again.
Cyclical.
It's up there.
We need to talk about it every once in a while. Let's bring it back up.
People's palates change.
Yeah, it's a yes. It's a hard yes for me. But that's a perfect Sam McKewon response, by the way. What was it? Milk Duds and what?
Junior mints or milk duds.
Junior mints, milk duds, and I only like kettle corn from a small
From a
county.
small county fair.
It's so specific. It's so good.
Yes. No proper segue, but we go to Maryland for our next story. Usually, let me peel the curtain back here. Usually, a story is not funny if a man dies.
Oh,
this one is.
What?
Tell me if I'm wrong, please.
I don't know. I'm on edge a little bit.
A Maryland man with 124 snakes in his home died of a snake bite. I mean, the irony's funny, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if we baked that into the cake of the possibility.
Well, this is probably the way I'm going to go out, but I like snakes.
He's 26 times more likely to be bitten by a snake in his own home.
David Riston, 49 years young, passed away of snake envenomation. The Maryland Department of Health confirmed to USA Today.
He had venomous snakes?
Yes. Officials also confirmed his death was accidental.
Yeah.
Riston died in January. Some of the snakes in his home included rattlesnakes, cobras, black mambas, and 14-foot-long Burmese pythons.
You would think a guy with that many snakes in his house would be prepared and he would know, like, hey, here's what happens if I accidentally get bit by one of these venomous snakes that I own.
Yeah, I need a life alert bracelet and I need the antidote.
What do they do on all the TV shows? They suck it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I need the antidote hanging from my neck at all times.
Right.
The snakes were illegal, and exotic animal experts removed the creatures after the man's death.
It's a classic case of being unprepared, it sounds like.
He had a valid captive reptile and amphibian permit in Maryland, but some of the snakes still did not meet the threshold, as venomous snakes cannot be kept as pets.
Yeah.
For obvious
there's reasons for
almost that exact reason, I bet.
I would think so. Well, it's tough. Never like to lose a man.
Yeah.
But in this case.
Am I out of line for putting it in the odd news? Yes or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. And finally, in Oklahoma, yesterday we brought you a story of the man posing as a DEA agent to get a discount at Wendy's.
That's right. Yes.
This is along that same line. We're not making fun of any political affiliations in this story.
We're not?
We're
Not yet.
An Oklahoma man has been arrested after trying to steal an Audi from a dealership in Tulsa, claiming he was acting as a U.S. Marshal when he was appointed by Donald Trump. The man, identified as Randy Cantwell, allegedly went to the dealership to view the car. An employee said, hey, that's not really ready to be test driven yet. Cantwell said he was taking it anyway and claimed the dealership stole the car and he was taking it back because he was a U.S. Marshal who had been appointed by Donald Trump. He could take the car if he wanted, he said. The employees blocked the car in, and when Cantwell realized that he could not drive away, he got out of the car and began to walk off. Cantwell was eventually stopped by police, and when asked what gave him such grand authority, he provided a natural answer. He was a federal marshal, a role he took on when former President Donald Trump enacted martial law.
Sure.
Of course, Donald Trump never declared martial law or authorized anyone to steal luxury vehicles. But an online conspiracy theory has long posited the theory that Trump would do such a thing and inspire people to act accordingly.
Well,
so he read it online and said, I must be a law enforcement officer now.
I feel like I'm missing a little bit. Okay, maybe let's just go through the first part.
Okay.
Maybe he was under the ridiculous thought that he was named a U.S. Marshal under martial law.
That's not outrageous given the story I just read. I think he may think that. Yes.
Let's just go with that first part. Is the automatic next step to go to the dealer and say, I have authority to steal this car. I am a marshal.
It feels like an A-C thing. And yes, we are missing step B.
Yeah.
In that. Yeah.
Not sure what the actual next move would be, but I feel like we're missing at least a piece of the story.
It feels Like a leap, yes. Absolutely.
That's odd news. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
We will come back. Noon hour, Michael Bruntz coming up at the bottom of the hour. A couple things, of course, to get into next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Excuse me, Carol?
Hey, Dale, you finished that report I asked for?
Oh, yeah, about that. I didn't get a chance to do it.
No worries. You've been so busy.
Really?
Of course. Dale, you're our hardest worker. You should take an extra week of vacation.
Are you firing me?
No, I promise. Just giving you the break you deserve.
Wow. Thanks, boss. You sure you're not firing me?
Actually, I'm going to promote you. But first, take a week off on the company's dime.
Sometimes things just get better. Like AT&T. We've invested more than $150 million to grow our wireless network coverage to over 99% of Nebraska. So you can talk, text, and share in more places than ever. Visit att.com/Nebraska and learn how to get a free smartphone when you switch to AT&T. Coverage not available everywhere. Over 99% coverage based on third-party data. Network investments based on 2018 through 2020 expenditure.
Dreaming of the perfect kitchen, more room for entertaining? Today, the Johnsons got both and saved by consolidating their debt. With a home equity line of credit, you can borrow money as you need it, have flexible payment options, and pay interest on only the money you're using. If you have equity in your home, the possibilities are endless with a home equity line of credit. What will you decide to do? Get started by visiting libertyfirstcu.com today. Approval required. Equal opportunity lender. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Ty's Outdoor Power Superstores are hosting an open house March 15th through April 15th virtually or at our Omaha, Gretna, and Lincoln locations. Big discounts, over $5,000 in giveaways, and a giant selection of Hustler, Steel, Toro, and Honda walk mowers. Visit Ty'sOutdoorPower.com.
O'Reilly. This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. 2022 marks the second year that the American Silver Eagle coin program features an all-new design. This means now is the time to order a Silver Eagle coin with the all-new landing eagle design while the program is still in its infancy. The American Silver Eagle has become the most popular coin series in the world, with tens of millions sold each year. Act fast or miss your opportunity to own this piece of American history. Just call Bullion Shark at 1-888-355-1587 and you're guaranteed to receive a perfect and brand new 2022 Silver Eagle. Get yours today to be among the first to possess these new coins. Call 1-888-355-1587 now, and you'll receive a free U.S. Coin Collector's Bonus Package. Free with every order. This limited time offer is only available by phone. Call Bullion Shark at 1-888-355-1587 now to secure your American Eagle Silver Dollar with the new and stunning Type 2 design before it's too late. That's 1-888-355-1587.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, welcome back. It is the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone. You can find us streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Here we are. Oh, I should probably turn on this light. I look a little dark.
Yes, you were told to turn on your light in a company-wide meeting that we were not at.
Yeah, right. So the people have to relay the message to me afterwards, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they said that you look bad. You should probably turn your light on." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I didn't really know about this."
Great. We didn't do this so people would watch us.
They brought this up. They brought up our live stream in the company meeting that we routinely cannot go to.
Yeah, because we're on the air here with you, fine folks.
So they use us as examples.
Yeah,
in the company meeting.
Seems kind of rude. At least tell us on the front end.
I'm proud of it, I guess.
Hey, we're dipping in.
So we started a segment yesterday called our baseball moment of the day, or best thing I saw in baseball.
Yeah.
AKA BTI-SIB.
Great name. Catchy.
BTI-SIB. It's a huge deal. It's the biggest deal. And we debuted yesterday with a moment that saw a man get knocked over by a 54-mile-an-hour floater. And then he sprawled out on the ground. Funny moment.
Funny moment. Hilarious. Heartwarming.
Pretty great.
Involved my Braves, so slight bit of homerism in there, although you picked it, not me.
I did. I'll take full responsibility for this. And then you texted me last night and said, hey, here are some of the things we did not include on the very first best thing I saw in baseball last night segment.
I love this.
Number 1, a guy hitting a home run for a girl fighting cancer. That would have been Brett Phillips, who we talked about previously on the show. And 2, the first female base coach in Major League Baseball history.
Yep.
Nope. Neither of those moments were better than a guy
falling down. Comedically perfect from us.
Yeah, that should give you a pretty good sense of what we're kind of going for here on this show in general and on this segment. Now, I will say that there will be sentimental moments that make their way into this segment. For whatever reason, we can only pick one, man.
Yeah.
And it was the guy getting knocked over by the floater. That was the pick yesterday. We do have, I want to get to today's. One of my runners up was just a headline from yesterday. Michael Bruntz, huge Oakland A's fan, who will be joining us here in just a couple minutes. Tweeted this, just a headline. I can't read the San Francisco Chronicle. I don't subscribe.
Support journalism.
Sorry. But the tweet said this: as officials work to control the issue ahead of the A's home opener on April 18th, there is one positive. Quote, the good news is the rat population has decreased substantially. And man, you want to talk about a headline that makes me click. I clicked immediately, and they're like, nope, paywall. You got to pay for this. Because I understand why. The headline of the story was feral cats, quote, having a field day at Oakland Coliseum. Apparently the Coliseum is being overtaken by feral cats, but it has led to a sharp decrease in the rat population.
Well, now you got feral cats running around.
Yeah, but less rats. So
you got to get dogs. You got to have a bark in the park day to get rid of the feral cats.
Yeah, and then you could probably just shoo the dogs out. You don't have to take
Yeah.
real action against them.
Yeah.
But our moment last night comes from the New York Yankees radio broadcast. Probably saw this floating around last night. And a man who has been guilty of this very thing several times over the last couple of years. The one, the only, John Sterling.
This Hicks. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, there it goes. Deep left center. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. But caught.
So once you say, keep going, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Keep going.
At the wall, caught by Tapia. Boy, I thought that was gone. So Stanton got close. He sent Tapia back to the wall to make the catch. And the Yankees come up just empty. That would have tied the game. So the Yankees get one run on 2 hits and leave one. This Hicks.
So once you say it's gone, it's over. You can't bring that back.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to say, and that ball is gone and it's caught. It doesn't work. You got to make damn sure that ball's over the wall before you say, and it's gone. You can rev it up as much as you want. It is high, it is far, and it's... But at that moment, you got to wait till that ball hits the stands.
Yeah.
I don't know if John Sterling just can't see, but he's done this a lot over the last couple years. It reminded me of Vikings radio broadcaster Paul Allen, who had a moment like this year as the Vikings were in Arizona trying to make a game-winning field goal. And it went something like, the kick is up, and it is good! Oh, no, it missed.
So I'm analyzing this video, kind of like the Zapruder film, back and to the left, back and to the left. The fans at the wall where this allegedly went out are not like clamoring for the baseball.
I don't think he can see.
Yeah, he has to be of poor sight.
Yeah.
How old is he? I mean, he's got to be up there.
He's been doing
this
this
for
a long time. Yeah.
He's 83. He'll be 84 this summer.
Whoa.
I would not have,
really?
I would not have guessed that old. But yes.
How old is Denny? Denny Matthews is 79. So he's a few years older than Denny Matthews, who has been the Kansas City Royals broadcaster since they've existed.
Wow.
Which is still crazy to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, the fans were not like, oh, this ball's coming right for us, guys. Let's get ready to catch this home run ball.
The way that they did it on TV, they pulled back and were like, and they showed the fans behind home plate, and everybody kind of thinks it's gone. So like they made you look like it was a bomb on TV.
Oh yeah.
Just a harmless little fly out.
And fans in the stadium have, over the last 5-10 years, have become absolutely terrible. At telling
obnoxious.
If a ball,
obnoxious.
Every time there's contact.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I can only imagine like going to one of those games where Barry Bonds was trying to set a record or something like that. Every time he even pulled the bat off the shoulder, I would just be losing it. Ah!
Now I can't see. So I admit that, like, I am also a poor judge, but that's not my job to determine if a ball is a home run.
And it's caught, actually.
And it's actually none of the things I said.
It's high.
It is allowed out.
It's high. It's far. Just not gone.
But it would have tied the game, Connor.
That would have been a tying home run. Still wasn't. Nick tweets in. He says, how about the Phillies fan who threw the Mets fan's cell phone into left field? I saw that. There's some good stuff in Philly going on right now.
Terrific. Yes. This Phillies Mets series has been just terrific.
Just a good old fashioned fan interaction. And it ended with the Phillies fan, snatching the phone out of the Mets fan's hand right in front of him, tossing it onto the field and walking away. It's a great move. Who did that recently in the NBA? Wasn't there?
Yeah.
Was it Westbrook? He was basically like, get that phone out of my face. Grabbed the phone and chucked it.
Nurkic.
Oh, yeah, it was Nurkic.
He got fined $40,000 for
That's
that.
right. He got fined.
Yeah. That was in a game yesterday where Max Scherzer was yelling at the home plate umpire very early in the game.
Baseball is so back.
Yes.
So back. Baseball moment of the day lives on. We'll catch up with Bruntz next. We'll get an update on those feral cats and those rats over in Oakland. And he covers it all. So we'll talk Huskers with Bruntsy next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
This won't be the first time you hear me say this year. This is the case for both Boston and New York. Get a real ballpark. I know you're revered in the Green Monster and the short porch and Yankee Stadium and all that stuff. Get a real ballpark. It should be more than 310 down the line. I shouldn't be able to hit a pop fly with a 25-mile-an-hour wind and it blow out of the ballpark. This isn't spring training. This isn't the minor leagues. Get a real ballpark.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Wind advisory in effect Thursday with west winds gusting up to 45 miles per hour at times. Also very high fire danger with a combination of windy and very dry conditions. Mostly sunny with highs in the mid-50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
When I need a new furnace or AC, I choose a company that provides solutions that meet my needs and budget.
When my furnace or AC needs repairs, I call a company with reliable technicians, not commissioned salespeople.
When I need a straight answer, I choose a company that is honest and has integrity.
At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we provide the best solutions for your needs and budget. It's just part of
the way we do the things we do.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Shingles add beauty, protection, and value to your home. You want CertainTeed shingles. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is a certified CertainTeed shingle master. When it comes to your roof, CertainTeed Shingles and Carps have you covered. Online at carpsomaha.com.
Spring is in the air, but are you ready for summer? Team up with Genesis Health Clubs today and you'll be ready. We're inviting you to be your absolute best this summer. No compromises, no regrets, just you, full of the sort of confidence only fitness can bring. This is your summer to feel great, look great, and have more energy. Start your membership at Genesis Health Clubs and save $25 per month every single month. $25 per month every single month. Hurry, just one day left. This summer is for you. Get yourself mentally and physically ready for vacations, pool parties, and barbecues in just a few short months. But you don't have to wait. You can start to feel better and have more energy today while you work toward your fitness goals. You are worth it. Join Genesis Health Clubs today and save $25 per month every single month. Hurry, just one day left. Join Genesis Health Clubs today and save $25 per month every single month. Summer is coming, and this is going to be your best summer ever. But hurry, this offer ends soon. Go to GenesisHealthClubs.com or stop by the club today. Hurry, just one day left.
Let me get you up to speed on the service that you need.
At Omaha Transmission, we don't have a warehouse full of transmissions waiting to be sold. We will diagnose and then repair or remanufacture your transmission. It's how we've always done it and how we'll always do it. Treating people the way that we want to be treated is how we do business at Omaha Transmission.
Omaha Transmission, shifting to running smooth.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Naloxone is a drug used to safely reverse an opioid overdose and is now more readily available in Nebraska. I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. I encourage you to learn how to respond to an opioid overdose and administer naloxone to potentially save a life by getting the free Opie Rescue app for your phone. Be Opie ready. Download Opie Rescue.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Before we get to some good old-fashioned FPI talk, with Michael Bruntz of Husker 24/7. We, of course, get our weekly update on the Oakland Athletics. Hello, Michael.
You're 3-3 Oakland Athletics, by the way.
How about that? Does that put them in? If the season ended today, are they in a wild card spot?
They're currently sitting in second in the AL West, and they are currently leading 3-0 in Tampa Bay, looking to win a series. Not that you, not that your listeners care about such things, but they're hot. They're hot.
Don't let them get hot. We may never lose again. Yep. Just wait for the sign to pop up.
Yep.
It was about a year ago today when we were trading, expectations on our team season, and we both agreed that we would see each other in the wild card game. That did not happen. And then I amended it a couple weeks later. I was like, never mind, we're missing the wild card game. We're winning the Central. And then the whole season tanked after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you have to proceed with cautious optimism when it's, the second week of April. But there's a lot to like so far.
Yeah, and great news. Oakland, the Oakland Coliseum has a bunch of feral cats now, so they can get rid of the rat problem.
Yeah, well, and what has not been discussed yet is that there's also a seagull problem at Oakland Coliseum. I used to cover Raiders games, and they have in center field, they basically they used to pull out the bleachers for Raiders games, and that was like one sideline. And then after the game, they would push the bleachers back in and get it ready for baseball. And it would be like every seagull in the world that existed would just descend on that stadium. So I don't know, in like the Coliseum, like vermin, circle of life.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where feral cats and who's the apex predator between feral cats and seagulls, but
they
they
need
might
to find it.
out.
Yeah, they're going to have to find it. I don't know how I assume that most baseball stadiums are places where, large areas, I suppose, they have their own issues with some animals that get in. It just has become such a big attraction for these animals. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah, well, and Oakland Coliseum has issues with sewage backing up a lot. So actually, rats and feral cats might not be the worst thing that they have to deal with. Do you remember are there still feral cats on campus at UNL? There was like a club that would feed them to like help limit the rat population.
I don't remember anything about cats. I do remember a lot of conversation about the squirrels and how they wanted to protect the squirrels.
Yeah, I think it was called UNL Campus Cat.
Oh,
that's what it was.
Oh yeah, I remember something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there were like feral cats roaming campus. I don't know if that's still a thing, but it was once a thing.
The UNL campus, I can say this though, is and this just comes from years of experience, I suppose, from the squirrels. They absolutely do not mind people at all. You could I've never been, usually you're in your front yard and the squirrels run off when they see you. The UNL campus squirrels, they you can go up to them and probably pet them. They just don't care.
Yeah, they usually light cigarettes, smoke cigarettes while kids walk to class. I think.
Yeah, I think that's been confirmed. All right, Bruntz. Let's talk about our other favorite subject, the FPI, which says Nebraska is the favorite to win the Big Ten West. Extremely surprisingly so. And also, and this is another number that jumped out to me, it gave him a 93.5% chance to win 6. If you're giving me that number right now, I'm saying yes. I mean, this brings up the question: are we? I don't know. We obviously are. We've been hurt by what Nebraska football has done over the last couple of years. Is that conversation harsher locally than it is nationally?
About expectations?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's a well-earned conversation, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
I think if you look at, what they've done in the past, I think Nebraska fans are absolutely right to be skeptical of everything that they're not seeing with their own eyes. I mean, I understand math. I understand the way that math works, and I think I generally understand the way that FPI works. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know that you saw anything on Saturday that you would say, like, okay, I would put this team as a favorite of the Big Ten West. You know, I was a little surprised that Nebraska's strength of schedule was as low as it was. What was it, like 50th or something like that with FPI?
Yeah. Strength of schedule? I'm not sure. I don't have it in front of me.
So I think that works in Nebraska's favor, but at the same time, I mean, a lot of the same teams that Nebraska has struggled to defeat in the past, you know, decade, if you're talking Wisconsin and Iowa, are still on the schedule. So, you know, I think it's right to look at that with a little bit of skepticism, but also I think it also gives you a little bit of a starting point for that skepticism of, okay, maybe if this happens and this happens, they can do something here. But yeah, I don't know that I would be picking Nebraska outright to win the Big Ten West as we stand here in April.
I wouldn't either. But it's interesting how it gets talked about, you know, when anybody there's always the one sentence, you know, that people have, hey, give me a quick thing on Nebraska. Like if you're a national media and they're like, hey man, and the line on them right now is, hey man, they were close last year. Couple things bounced the right way. You get things tightened up. You know, that team was close to being really good. And our response to that here is, well, it's not the same team. There is a lot of guys who are different, you know, but I find it interesting that there seems to be more optimism from the outside than there is from the inside, which is maybe a different deal around here. It's usually the other way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, but the thing about it is, I mean, when you're, you know, right by it, you're able to see the warts and everything. You're aware of kind of what's really going on. I mean, I think that there's nationally, it's always like, okay, well, this is a really big year for Nebraska. I generally feel like, you know, as much as people around here want to say that the national media doesn't like Nebraska, I think there seems to be the general feeling among national media that, hey, it would be okay if Nebraska got it going again. Like college football's better when they're, you know, doing well, whatever. But yeah, I think it is. There is more skepticism locally because you're just in it every day. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of where it's at, and you know how things went in 2019 when Nebraska was, you know, picked and had a little bit of juice behind its name. So we'll see. I mean, it's an interesting conversation that I don't think really gets dug into nationally, though, where you say, okay, Nebraska's really close, and you know, they were by score quite a bit last year, but for a team that was so close, you've had a ton of change. So that's why I think I'm, you know, reserving judgment a little bit until we get a few more data points on this thing.
Let me create a hypothetical situation that won't happen here. For the transfer portal, let's say Nebraska had their choice to get an offensive tackle, like and both these are really good caliber players. An offensive tackle or a defensive tackle in the portal, and that person is going to be really highly productive for you, and they'll step in and play right away. Which one do you want more?
I'm taking defensive tackle and taking it twice on Sundays. I mean, that's where the need is. If you watched on last Saturday, there is such a lack of proven depth along that defensive line, and I know they're going to get Casey Rogers back. We don't really know, what percentage he's going to be when fall camp starts, but that spot more than just about any, I think, are so key, and especially for this kind of defense that is going to need to be good against the run. You need somebody to really command the middle of a defense, and I think that's why it's just so key. I mean, beyond defensive tackle, I mean, an O'Shawn Mathis type edge rusher you'd love to have, but I mean, a defense is just so much better when there's a force in the middle that an offense has to account for on every play. So I would definitely take that. And I think too, I don't know where Teddy Prohaska is going to be when fall camp starts, but I feel like Nebraska at least has significantly more options at offensive tackle than they do defensive tackle right now.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about defensive tackle, because there are bodies, while they might not be, they're certainly not what they were last year as far as the options Nebraska had. I think really what they're looking for is, a dude, kind of an anchor there. What you would be looking for on the offensive line would be, kind of a depth piece, assuming you're getting good reports. You continue to get good reports on Teddy Prohaska, like you said.
Yeah, well, and it changes the conversation too about the offensive line if Trent Hickson truly does have that center job nailed down, because then you don't have the conversation of, okay, well, what are we going to do with Turner Corcoran when he's healthy? Are we going to try him at center and move guys around? I mean, I think coming out of spring that they have a good sense of what the interior of that offensive line is going to look like. It's just a matter of what the tackle spots look like, and that's just an incomplete picture due to injury. So, and I guess here's a question for you. I mean, how differently would you feel about Nebraska's defense right now if they had Damian Daniels coming back this year?
Yeah, that's exactly what they need. Like exactly what they need.
You need somebody that can go in there and give you good snaps. I mean, it's not going to be a 60, 70 snap a game type guy, but you need a solid rotational piece there. And I mean, there are a lot of losses from last year's team that are significant.
Yeah.
I think Damian Daniels is probably the most significant of guys that decided to move on.
Well, it's like basketball. Like, some teams are looking for, depth and to fill holes in some areas, or depth would be the only way to really describe it. Some teams are looking for, we have this one spot in the lineup that we need a guy. We feel good about a lot of the other pieces, but we really need a guy who can come in and like score, 18, 19, 20 points a game. Like, those are two different things while hunting in the transfer portal.
Right. Well, and that's just such a tough spot too, because everybody's looking for that, so, maybe you look out with some connections or something like that, but that position, I think more than any, maybe quarterback is the exception. It's just such elbows out recruiting to find difference makers there. And, the benefit of having a veteran guy there too, is it allows you to use guys like Nash Hutmacher, but not having Nash Hutmacher be the guy right out of the gate.
Huge.
And kind of allow him to continue to develop, because he doesn't have a ton of experience. So, I just think that's a tough spot to ask somebody, a young guy, to come in and be so productive right away.
Bruntz, for baseball this weekend, how do you approach 4 non-con games starting tonight at 6:35 against BYU? 4 non-con games smack dab in the middle of a conference slate here, where the attention for Nebraska is kind of turned to, all right, you got to beat some teams in the Big Ten, number one, and make the tournament in Omaha, but also continue to kind of climb up those standings, where, this won't give you any credit because the at-large thing is kind of off the table by now. So how do you approach this weekend, given that there's not a whole lot on the line?
Well, the thing that you need to do from a pitching standpoint is this is going to allow you to get more innings for young guys that you're going to have to rely on once you get to Big Ten play. The Jackson Brockett type guys that maybe you weren't hoping to use in high leverage situations in conference play, but here you are.
Yep.
Maybe this also allows you to decide if Emmett Olson is going to be a long-term answer for you in the rotation. He certainly looked like it last week.
He was really good on Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. Dawson McCarville is not currently in Nebraska's scheduled rotation of pitchers for the weekend. So that kind of allows you to tinker a little bit there. Offensively, you got to find something. I mean, you're really struggling with runners in scoring position all year, especially so the last week and a half since that Ohio State series. You got to find something there. So that's kind of what this weekend is about, is just kind of trying to find some good feelings, figure out some things, because you're right. I mean, the road to the NCAA tournament is through the Big Ten tournament. And, that's got to be where the focus is. And for this team, you just have to try to find any answers you can this weekend. Because the thing about it is, though, too, for Nebraska's offense, BYU has a dang good pitching staff, and they're going to be really challenged this weekend.
It's definitely about the offense. I'm still, every time I watch them play, I'm almost shocked every time at just how many bad pitches they swing at. They just swing at bad pitches consistently. And especially against a good pitching staff this weekend, they just have to be a little bit more disciplined there.
Yeah. Well, and you know how it is. I mean, you don't have success, you start to press, and you don't have to, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy a little bit at that point where the bad snowball gets rolling down the hill. So, they're moving the lineup around a little bit. They had Cam Chick at the top of the lineup against Creighton. He's hitting really well the last few weeks. So maybe they can find a spark there. But, it just the untimely hitting has been kind of remarkable. I can't remember a stretch of any Nebraska team that I've covered that's had this much trouble with runners in scoring position.
Okay, Bruntz, we'll let you go. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Connor.
Michael Bruntz of Husker 24/7. Nebraska and BYU tonight at 6:35, 2 tomorrow, and then 1 on Saturday. BYU, they don't play on no Sundays.
That's right. Yeah.
We don't mess with that.
No.
Going home.
Certainly not Easter Sunday.
Got an 11 a.m. start on Saturday morning, and then they'll be off. Then Nebraska, one more with a game on Wednesday with North Dakota State, then back into conference next weekend at Indiana. Yep, getting to be crunch time for them.
TikTok, yeah, for sure.
We'll come back with Josh's top 5. Josh's top 5 ways to eat corn.
That is right.
Love it.
After inspired by Sam McKewon.
This could be really controversial, actually.
I assume it will be.
All right.
I'm prepared for the slings and arrows.
Here we go. We'll do that next on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Spring is sprung, and Rossi Clothiers is celebrating spring with 2 more design events this weekend with special pricing. Samuelson made-to-measure tailored clothing will be showcased with special pricing until the 23rd, and exclusive this weekend only, Mark Calder Sportswear will be showcasing spring and fall previews. 2022 collections will be available. Charlie's known for the art of permanent fashion and made-to-measure tailored menswear, coats, casual wear, shoes, and accessories. Celebrating over 30 years of timeless elevated menswear, Rossi Clothiers. Great location in Rockbrook Village.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal are coupons valued at $50 on sale for just $25 to the Woodcliff Restaurant in Fremont. It's perfect for a romantic dinner or to bring the whole family to enjoy watching the fish and boats from the lakefront patio. $50 on sale for just $25 to the Woodcliff Restaurant in Fremont. That's this week's half-off deal.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Meet Bob Minetti. In 2016, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Bob participated in a clinical trial that included cutting-edge radiation therapy and surgery. He's been in remission since completion. I'm Keisha Sharp. Since losing my mother to pancreatic cancer, I've been working to share the kind of state-of-the-art work being done by Stand Up to Cancer and Lust Garden Foundation. To learn more about the latest research, including clinical trials, visit pancreaticcancercollective.org.
Are you tired of living with chronic pain, knee pain, joint pain? Listen carefully, because now there are new treatments available. I'm not talking surgery or steroids. These are regenerative treatments from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Hey, this is Damon Benning. QC Kinetics is the leader in these exciting biological therapies that help restore and repair damaged tissue in joints with lasting results. If you've got a pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back, joint pain that won't go away, you need to check out these new treatments with astonishing patient satisfaction reports. They can actually help your body restore and repair itself. No downtime, no drugs, no surgery. That is right in my wheelhouse. Call now to schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics, 402-205-4960. You need to learn more about how biological therapies are changing the way you think about dealing with joint pain? It's exciting stuff. Don't wait. Call today. QC Kinetics, 402-205-4960. That's 402-205-4960.
Hey guys, spring is here and the honeydew list has begun. If you're getting ready to clean up your yard, Lanahaw is your one-stop for all landscape needs. Buy your mulch at Lanahaw Nurseries. Best quality at the best price. Convenient delivery or pickup. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Mark your calendar and plan to do good on May 17th, 18th, and 19th for Share Omaha's Do Good Days presented by FNBO. You can choose from more than 600 local nonprofits to support with money, wish list items, and volunteer opportunities. Ready to give now? Share Omaha is here 365 days a year. Learn more about how you can get involved with your favorite causes during Do Good Days and all year long at shareomaha.org.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
I'm back here on the Connor Happer Show, streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Also, the 1620 The Zone app, 1620thezone.com, or on the good old terrestrial radio.
Whoa. You can't even get that in a car anymore.
I do.
There are some new cars that don't have AM radio.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I know, right?
That probably doesn't bode well for us.
It's not great. No. No. Nope.
Yeah. So the app is good.
Support us.
1620thezone.com is
and
good.
our families.
And don't buy new cars, I guess. Unless it's from any of our fine sponsors. Wow. We're digging ourselves into a hole here. We have Josh's top 5, and inspired by Sam McKewon and his very strong take on ways to, well, okay, so where did we start? Oh, yeah.
You started with most valuable vegetable.
Most valuable vegetable, which I proclaimed 1 year ago, was onions. And I think Sam agreed that it would at least be up there. He made a very strong case for broccoli.
He did.
Which we're gonna find that, and we're gonna, make sure that gets out there a little bit later. And then if we're including corn, I think we kind of agree that would be somewhat of a shoo-in for the most valuable vegetable. So, in honor of that, Josh has his top 5 ways to eat corn.
Top 5 ways to eat corn. Now, before we get into this list, does popcorn count?
I was wondering that. I'm gonna leave it up to you.
Okay, I say yes.
I would say yes. It's not corn. I mean, it's I don't know. I would actually, you know what? We're not going to get an answer on this for a couple days, but I'm going to my grandparents' farm this weekend.
Okay.
I got to ask, like, would you call popcorn corn? Because they have like a little, like a little plot where they grow some popcorn.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, it looks the same as everything else. I assume, I would say yes.
Okay. Then I do not have to change the list. And
we have a poll question.
And we do have a poll question. Is popcorn corn at Happer Show on Twitter?
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Corn salsa. You can get it at your fast casual Mexican establishments. Little pico, little corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You throw it in the burrito bowl, in the burrito.
Yeah. It gives a nice little flavor, nice little texture. It's going to help fill you up. Very versatile little condiment there.
Yeah.
The corn salsa.
Is it versatile though? Because
I guess there's really only like 1 or 2 things you can do with it.
Right.
But it does a number of things. It serves a number of purposes.
I mean, it tastes good.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know that I would ever be like, hey, can I just get a little side of that corn salsa and then I'm going to dip my chips in it? Like that.
Okay.
That's not a thing.
No, that's fair.
So I think it goes well with something else. I appreciate that it's there. Okay, let's keep going.
I like that it exists.
I do too. I appreciate its existence.
Number 4.
Cornbread.
Nice.
Do you like niblets of corn in your cornbread, or do you just like a same consistency cornbread?
I've noticed visually the difference, but I can't say that I've ever noticed the actual difference.
Yeah,
in
that's fair.
if they include like the visibility of the corn or not. Right?
I'll eat it either way. I don't
And
care.
I do love cornbread. Yep. Give me a little bit of honey.
Yep.
Boom.
Butter?
Do butter also.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Cornbread.
I prefer honey, but butter.
Sure.
Just like a biscuit.
Absolutely.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Now, on this one, you might say I'm double dipping, but it's different. Corn fritter.
Corn fritter.
I like that deep fried bread that is different than a cornbread.
Yeah.
Hugging the kernels of corn.
Wait,
very
what's
delicately, very pillowy.
what is a corn fritter? What's in a corn fritter?
It's a corn meal.
So it's just doughy?
Yeah, it's doughy. There's corn inside. It's warm. It's bread. I love it. You can get them at Long John Silver's.
I don't know that I've ever even had one.
Oh, you should.
I assume I've had something like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the same kind of as cornbread, right?
It is similar. It's a different kind of bread that encases corn.
I like fried stuff, so I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gluttonous and delicious.
This is an interesting list so far.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here comes 2. Number 2.
Second best way to eat corn, on the cob.
Nice.
Classic. Butter it. You want to put some cotija cheese on it? You go ahead and do that.
Be my guest.
Yeah. Maybe a spritz of lime. You want to grill it?
Pepper?
Oh, yeah.
Something like that?
I love corn.
Corn is great.
Corn is wonderful.
We could be #NEB partners on the I don't know if they would like us to be their Instagram influencers, but we could be the voice or whatever.
Go Huskies.
Yeah, it's really good. And I regret now, some of this I like, some of this I don't. The move where you hold up the corn on the cob and then you slice all the corn off of it, you know, to make it corn off the cob.
Yeah.
So love the move because it's kind of satisfying and the, you know, it's easier to eat and it's less messy and stuff like that. But there's something about it on the cob.
It's cheating to hack it off the cob like that.
Yeah. But it is fun to take it off the cob. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Very satisfying.
Just good old-fashioned corn. Yeah.
Leads us to our number one way to eat corn.
I have a sense what this is.
A lot of people have takes about our popcorn question.
Number 1.
It's popcorn. It's the best.
I really don't want to agree with you on this.
But it's the best. You're gonna.
You could just, and now you could do so many different things with it. Like the different salts and butters that are out there.
Yep.
To clog your arteries. It's fantastic.
Clog them up.
You should see my little routine. So pop some popcorn. Yeah, here's my popcorn popping routine. So this
is at home, right?
This is at home.
Okay.
This usually happens on Sunday nights when I'm sitting down to watch the Winning Time or whatever Sunday night HBO show is on. Soon it'll be Barry. So I have an air popper, which I don't love. I'd rather have the oils, you know, in there and have it popped in with all the rest of the stuff. But I kind of simulate that. It comes out of the air popper, and I have this butter spray. It's like it comes in a spray bottle. You know?
Okay.
Butter, and you spray the popcorn as it kind of comes out in layers. And then I quickly grab my like buttery like salt. It's like a yellow salt, kind of like the stuff we have out here.
Yeah.
And dump it on there, and then it sticks to it. with the butter spray. And then you just do that over and over and over again as the popcorn comes out. You mix it up. You do it a couple more times. I go through the butter spray, these little red bottles. I don't even know what it is or where. We had to order them off of Amazon because I couldn't find them in stores anymore for some reason. I may have it at Walmart or something like that. But I run through the bottles of the butter spray like dangerously too much.
Interesting.
And it's so good. And I'm uncontrollable when I eat popcorn. You've seen it in here. Like it's just I can't stop.
Yeah, you cannot delicately place it in your mouth. You have to grab a massive handful and shovel it.
So it's going on the ground and it's kind of going everywhere. It's all over your shirt.
No judgment here.
This is why the movie theater is the best place to consume it.
It's dark. No one can tell what you're doing when you're in your seat by yourself.
I want to be mad at you for this, but I can't. Popcorn is. I would rather eat popcorn than corn on the cob.
Thank you. As would I. Which is why they were 1-2 in the rankings.
We get an email here, the Equitable Bank inbox from Chris. Subject line, no! Email contact.
That's how you know it's a good top 5 list.
Only a monster would choose popcorn over corn on the cob.
Well, I am a monster then.
You're a monster.
We asked on Twitter, is popcorn corn? And the takes are rolling in. Curtis responds, there are 4 main types of corn grown. Feed corn, sweet corn. He's not sure if this is PC, but it's known as Indian corn and popcorn.
Yeah. So, yeah, counts.
Noah says it's soda corn. Jody responds, if popcorn is eating corn, then please walk out into a field of popcorn hybrid, take a bite, and report back.
Yeah, well, you got to pop it.
I imagine that would be unpleasant.
You have to pop it just like the corn on the cob has to grow.
You got to cook it.
Yeah. You don't want to eat raw corn. It has to grow, and you have to cook it. So I don't know. I don't think that's totally valid. Soda corn, feed corn, sweet corn, popcorn, Indian corn.
Yeah.
Also, facts: Nebraska is one of the top popcorn producing states.
True story. We got to go back-to-back food segments here because we have not talked about Spokane pizza yet.
Oh, yeah, we have to do that as well.
And those monsters.
Another tweet. Is this like asking if a raisin is a grape? By the way, raisins are disgusting.
I love raisins.
It takes. Oh, you do?
Yeah, they get a bad rap.
You love raisins? Like you love raisins?
I enjoy it. I'll let me walk it back just a hair.
You don't love raisins.
I enjoy raisins.
You tolerate raisins.
Raisins are not a deterrent.
Okay, raisins are fine. That's what you're saying. You don't love raisins. I hope you don't love raisins.
I think that's accurate. Yes, I like raisins. They are good enough for me.
Put it on the hot take-o-meter. I love raisins.
I love raisins. Okay. I need a new one. I got a lot of graphics to do today. It's a busy afternoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a day. JD tweets, may God have mercy on Josh's show. FBI. Please investigate his take of popcorn is the #1 way to eat popcorn. Like, I feel I really want to make fun of you for this.
You can't. You love popcorn.
You gotta support her. Like, I love popcorn. We've talked about our mutual love of popcorn before.
Yep. It's because popcorn's the best.
So what do we do with yeah, it's because popcorn's the best. What do we do with, like, I asked about corn dogs before. Like, that's not corn. But it has the batter, like a cornmeal batter.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to put it on your list, I wouldn't attack you for it.
I love I love corn dogs. I love corn dogs.
Okay. Top 5, I assume?
If we're counting it as a way to eat corn, like, I don't consider it eating corn. But I love it as a food. Like, and I love it. It's not like your love for raisins, where it's just like, yeah, I think they're fine. No, I love corn dogs.
This tweet from John Reel.
What?
I don't know if I can say it on the radio. It's the popcorn trick. Like, we don't know the popcorn trick.
Oh no! Have people actually done that?
I assume. It's a prevalent,
other than in movies.
It's a prevalent enough thing. I assume people have tried this. Poll question?
Nope. That's gonna be where I draw the line.
That's fair. That's
gonna be where I draw the line.
That's completely fair.
Okay. What are the omissions? Let's see if anybody's done a list on this.
I mean, I looked up 46 best corn recipes during one of these interviews today. Must have been the salmon.
Well, then like a soup.
I'm not a big soup guy. I don't
like in a chowder.
I don't like drinking my dinners.
Wow.
I'm out on soups. I'm out on chowders.
30. Is this the one you saw on BuzzFeed? 37 delicious ways to eat corn this summer.
No, it was not a BuzzFeed. It was not a listicle. It
Number-
was a slideshow though, and that angered me.
Number 1, grilled corn with herbed goat cheese butter.
No, thank you. That's not a number 1.
What? Number 2, vegetable roasty with tomato corn relish.
That doesn't sound.
Number 3, Mexican corn salad.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
Sammy Watkins to the Packers, by the way.
Whoa.
It's official.
All right.
1-year deal.
Sammy's going to get his chance again, I guess.
Well, 1 year prove it.
4, corn ice cream shortcakes with blueberry compote. Compote.
Nope, there's too much going on there. Get that the heck out of my kitchen.
Roasted corn guacamole?
Okay.
Corn and guacamole?
Okay. Corn.
These
good.
are off the wall, man.
Guac good.
Corn pudding.
I can do it. I don't love it. It's a look and a texture thing.
This would be close for me. Like a lobster chowder with corn in it.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I'm all the way in on that. That would be in my top 5. For sure. How about corn nuts?
Oh, had not considered.
Well, corn nuts.
Damon agrees with me on raisins, by the way. Thanks, DB. They get a bad rap.
Does Damon love raisins?
I don't know. Crossover tomorrow?
It gets an unnecessarily bad rap, okay, but I've never heard anybody passionately proclaim I love raisins.
I'll bet that lady on the Sun-Maid box loves raisins. She's been scooping those things for 100 years.
How about corn nuts?
I'll indulge in a corn nut.
Thank you.
Occasionally, yeah, sure.
Yeah, corn nuts might be on my top 5.
Ooh.
Corn nuts are a great snack. There's a line in there somewhere with like, it doesn't have enough corn in it to actually be a corn thing.
Great tweet from Scott. Corn tortilla chips.
Yeah, but
is that corn?
See, now we're going too far.
Corn tortilla?
I think you actually like have to be eating
on a taco.
See, this is where I wasn't sure about like the cornbread either. Because I love cornbread and like there's nothing bad about it. But
it has to feature a kernel of something.
Yeah, I think so. It's got to visually have the corn kernel in it.
Yeah.
We didn't lay out those rules prior to having this discussion.
It was a controversial list. I admit the rules were a bit opaque.
You're a controversial guy.
You got to get the people talking on a top 5 list, or else what the heck are you doing?
Damon follows up. He says, "I don't love raisins. I do love oatmeal raisin cookies." That is one of the takes that I agree with Damon on. It was Schaefer. He was at the office. He was like, "Hey, I'm going to order everybody cookies from this cookie place." And he goes through and everybody's like chocolate chip or peanut butter or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and Schaefer just asked me, I didn't know the context of it. Schaefer asked me, "Hey, Happer, what's your favorite cookie?" And I go, oatmeal raisin. So then I had oatmeal raisin cookies in the warm cookie thing.
Is that your favorite cookie, or did you just say that?
That's what I said that day. I didn't know the context of what it was going to be. I didn't know it was going to be judged off it. And I also didn't know that it was going to be warm. Like I didn't know that they were going to be individualized. You just kind of figure if a person's bringing in cookies into the office, they're like, yeah, I'll get some of this, some of that, some of this, some of that. Not, I'll get you one cookie for you.
They're in a box on the table and you just kind of.
Right. It's like, it'd be nice if you had some oatmeal raisins in there for us people.
Sure.
Okay. All right. If you guys have any more corn takes, you can send them our way. We appreciate Sam's earlier and we're getting lots of run out of this one.
Yes. We gotta do Spokane pizza before the show's over.
We will. We have time.
Good.
Open 1 o'clock hour. I do want to get into the FBI thing a little bit. Also a draft rundown based on a mock draft that I saw today from The Athletic, and what Nebraska is slated to have compared to some of their divisional rivals who, by the way, I don't know if you heard this, won more games last year. We'll come back with that next year on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Jake and Christine knew they needed help renovating their dream home. As a Pella advisor, I make sure every step of getting new windows and doors is smooth, including setting you up with our Pella Care Guarantee. It covers everything from product to installation with some of the strongest warranties in the industry.
For 0% APR or $500 off your project, go to PellaOmaha.com/radio. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details. Offer ends April 30th.
At Leach Camper Sales, we're celebrating 60 years of making campers happy, and there's a reason they keep coming back. Simply the best quality product, fair prices, and our amazing dedicated people. If you've never been, come on over and we'll show you around. And don't forget, coffee's always on.
Year 2 of the NBA play-in tournament, and there are no sure things, except one. Bet at least $20 in same-game parlays on Fanduel Sportsbook, and you'll get an instant bonus, win or lose. That's right. Not only do you get to enjoy the NBA's best duking it out for the right to advance in the NBA playoffs, but Fanduel is giving all customers a bonus for getting in on the action. And the more you bet, the bigger your bonus. Looking at the play-in tournament a little bit, hard to go against Kevin Durant, right? Maybe take his points, pair it along with somebody else. Boom, you got yourself a same-game parlay. Fanduel is an official partner of the NBA. Their app's safe, easy to use, and you'll get your winnings fast. That's what we're all here for, right? New to Fanduel Sportsbook, sign up today with promo code HAPPER to make every moment more. Don't just watch the NBA play-in tournament, be a part of it. Bet at least $20 in same-game parlays and get an instant bonus, win or lose, with promo code HAPPER on the Fanduel Sportsbook. 21 plus, present in Iowa. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 7 days. Max bonus $100. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Shop Lanahaw Nurseries for all your mulch needs. Best quality mulch at the best price. You'll notice our prices are lower than anybody else's. That's because you're buying your mulch straight from where it's made. Convenient delivery or pickup. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
I'm Joel Clark, a Select Quote agent, with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and he can't take it with him. Well, I went to work and found Ray, who's 40 and takes medication to control his high blood pressure, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. That's way more coverage for a lot less than what he was paying. If Select Quote didn't shop for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote and to find out how much you can save, call 1-800-470-1960. That's 1-800-470-1960. 1-800-470-1960. Or go to selectquote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio.
1620 The Zone. Live and local, broadcasting 6A to 6P in the Host Coffee Zone studio. Host Coffee, offering office break room refreshment services to Omaha and Lincoln metro area businesses. Discover a better break room solution for your office at sales@hostcoffee.net.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, back here on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone. Josh informs me that Steph Curry is seemingly back for game one of their playoff series.
That's not my reporting. That's Shams.
You passed it along to me, though.
I'm
crediting you.
Well, thank you.
Josh is reporting from other reporters.
It's a Woj bomb. It's a Shams bomb. What?
It's a Josh bomb.
Josh bomb?
I don't know.
Okay.
We want to be uncreative as Shams bomb. It was the original Woj bomb, and I don't know where Shams bomb came from. I guess just Shams. So their series begins Saturday. They're still the Nuggets, for whatever reason, still keep dangling out this carrot that Jamal Murray could just walk into the gym one day and say, yeah, actually, I'm going to give it a go. They've been really careful with him the entire time. With his injury and with tearing his ACL last year, and he's been careful, but he's been going at it in this rehab process for a while now. I don't know. That series could get really fun if you get both Steph and Jamal Murray back. Murray, obviously, without having played a game this year.
The Seahawks have signed a quarterback.
Uh-oh, who's the quarterback?
1 year, $7 million deal for Geno Smith.
Geno.
All right.
Still going to need one more, I think.
Yeah, I think that might be a deal that leads to a deal.
Baker? Just like the Packers at wide receiver. Like, yeah, okay, we got Sammy Watkins. Still going to need a couple more, maybe. Maybe a bigger one as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Get a tweet from Shane here, who quote tweeted our "Is Popcorn Corn" tweet and said, "Tell me you've never lived outside of Lincoln or Omaha without telling me you've never lived outside of Lincoln or Omaha."
Not wrong. Not wrong, Shane.
I guess this is the truth.
It's a total city slicker tweet.
With that being said, I understand. Technically, it is. But I just want to know from your point of view. That's why we put it out there as a poll question.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mike tweets in. He says, "I like Odd Bomb."
Odd Bomb.
Put that on your graphics.
I think that roll. Ooh, yeah. Put that on the list here.
He says, "All my NFL and NBA breaking news comes from Odd Bombs."
Who am I to argue?
Maybe find another source as well. Just to be safe. Okay, so Dane Brugler's mock draft from The Athletic. He ran down the entire 7 rounds. He also did his best players, like his top list available. But gave you the rundown a little bit earlier. He has Cam Jurgens as a second rounder, 55th overall. He has Cam Taylor-Britt, second rounder, 63rd overall. He has JoJo Domann as a 4th rounder, 130th overall, and then Austin Allen at the back end of the draft, 6th round, 219th overall. That's 4 guys drafted. That's 3 in the first 4 rounds. So I figured I'd take that, and I would look at some of Nebraska's neighbors. You know, the ones that are inferior to Nebraska, according to the FPI by ESPN.
True. Big Ten West champs.
Iowa, for example, they're always you kind of, by the way, you kind of know that it's a rivalry, that they're always the school I compare anything that happens to Nebraska to now. And man, how far we've come on that, to where 8 years ago, a real life athletic director at Nebraska said we had to compare ourselves to Iowa and, make the final decision based on that. We had to evaluate where Iowa was. And now I'm like, please, let's evaluate where Iowa is every single day. I would love to continue to compare ourselves. That's one of the standards in this division. Like, we can't run from it. That's what it is. Iowa This is just according to a mock. We'll see how this turns out at the end and talk about it again. Linderbaum, a first rounder, end of the first round, 31st overall. Dean Belton, a fifth rounder, 147th overall. That's it. 2 Iowa players drafted, one in the first, one in the fifth. Off of a team that won 9 games last year, may I remind you. Wisconsin. Leo Chenal, third rounder. Jake Ferguson, a fourth rounder. A sixth rounder and a seventh rounder. 4 guys drafted, 2 in the first 4 rounds. Nebraska, very comparable, if not better. Minnesota, a first rounder, a third rounder, and a seventh rounder. Boy, Mafe, the first rounder, and then the offensive lineman, big boy, Fa'alele, a third rounder. Other Big Ten West, Purdue had 2 in this mock. Illinois had 2 in this mock. Northwestern, 0. And then elsewhere, just around the Big Ten, Ohio State and Michigan, each with 7. Penn State, 8. Michigan State, 3. Maryland, 3. Rutgers, 1. Indiana, 1. A lot of that kind of tracks for how good these teams were last year. Like Ohio State and Michigan having the same amount of players drafted, or at least mocked to be drafted. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Wisconsin and Iowa, very, very similar. Minnesota, very similar. That makes sense to me. They all look like pretty similar teams last year. There's a couple that don't make sense. First of all, Penn State, what they've done over the last 2 years, winning a combined, 9 games over 2 years now? I think they just won 2 in 2020. In the shortened season. And then 7 last year. I think they went 7-6. That's underperforming with 8 guys potentially being being drafted this year. And then we have Nebraska with 3 first round, or not 3 first round, 3 top 4 round guys potentially in this draft. And I think the stock has gone way up post-draft or post-season, pre-draft for both Cam Taylor-Britt and Cam Jurgens, the Cams. We thought it might go higher for Austin Allen. His testing numbers didn't quite turn out maybe as well as we thought they would. But are still under the impression that he could be a good player and under the right circumstances. And Doman hasn't really moved all that much. A little bit of buzz on him, but still kind of sits middle of the draft, and that's where he's always been. But the stock has certainly gone up on Cam Taylor-Britt and Cam Jurgens after the season ended and prior to this point. And I don't feel like I probably need to remind people of this, but I will say it. Nebraska won 3 games last year.
What?
And every time I say that out loud, it's like, I don't want it to come off as, Nebraska's bad every time. I'm more so driving home the point that it almost seems impossible that Nebraska only won 3 games last year. And that is both a huge slight to what they were doing and somewhat a compliment. Because I just don't, it doesn't make any sense for how experienced they were, how much depth they have had. I mean, they had all the key pieces for optimism going into for how we look at teams preseason. They had all of these pieces, all of these boxes that you wanted to check. 4-year starting quarterback, check. Super experienced defense with 6-year guys all over the place. A couple top 2 round guys. 1 on offense, 1 on defense. Pretty decent right quarterback play. Can the weapons around him work? There was that whole question. There was just a lot, and it was Frost's 4th year, and you figured some of the stuff was going to get worked out. But mostly when they make those preseason predictions, prognostications, it's about your roster and what it looks like. There's coach effect that goes in there, but it is player driven. And that was the lowest end of what Nebraska could have possibly done last year. And that'll You'll get constant reminders over the next 2 weeks leading up to the NFL draft, and you'll get another swift punch in the face of it on night 2 and 3 of the NFL draft. It's still crazy to me. That honestly, that doesn't really say anything about this season and what it might be for Nebraska, because they've changed up a lot of things, and it doesn't look like to me right now that they'll have, that high of a draft ceiling in 2023. We'll see. We'll see how that one goes. All we can do is look back at this past season and say, man, I think that was kind of the one. And like, there are instances where we look back and say, man, it really did. It really led up. That season had all the makings of being kind of the special one, for all the reasons that I just mentioned. And sometimes it works out, and you have a season like Iowa did in 2015 where they kind of had the same recipe. They were super experienced, and not in the style of football that they play, but in their roster and kind of what it looked like. Really experienced quarterback play, things like that. And sometimes it works out to the highest end. Sometimes you get 8 or 9 wins out of it in a division like this, and maybe you end up winning the division. Sometimes it's like, yeah, man, we let a couple slip there, and it's like a 7 or 8 win season. There's a difference. But I don't think I've ever seen it supposed to be like that, and now we get confirmation kind of in the sense of the NFL draft of, man, you had the players to do it. You had the players to get there, and those players are now gone. And it worked out worse than the previous seasons have. It's not all black and white. Like, it's not all, there was a lot of parts of last year's 3-9 season that looked better than any other thing that they've done in the last 4 years, but the record still was what it was. So sorry, not to drive that home again, but yeah, kind of the segment title there. People forget Nebraska went 3-9 last year, and they're going to get some guys drafted. And even compared to what their division mates are going to do in the NFL draft, Nebraska going to look better than them. And those teams won 3 times the amount of games Nebraska won last year. We will come back. We have to have a chat about Spokane pizza and the shame that it is
monsters.
The shame that it is brought on our country, and
Dark
specifically the Pacific Northwest. We'll do that. We will update on the poll questions as we get closer to 2 o'clock here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
This won't be the first time you hear me say this year. This is the case for both Boston and New York. Get a real ballpark. I know you're revered in the Green Monster and the short porch and Yankee Stadium and all that stuff. Get a real ballpark. It should be more than 310 down the line. I shouldn't be able to hit a pop fly with a 25-mile-an-hour wind and it blow out of the ballpark. This isn't spring training. This isn't the minor leagues. Get a real ballpark.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Wind advisory in effect Thursday with west winds gusting up to 45 miles per hour at times. Also very high fire danger with a combination of windy and very dry conditions. Mostly sunny with highs in the mid-50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Guys, let's face it, there is a time when you just need to get out of the house, to have your own place, to be with the guys, or just a quiet, relaxing place for yourself. Well, Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge hears you loud and clear. Settle in. Escape to Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge for an incredible selection plus premium cocktails, a knowledgeable, friendly staff, state-of-the-art humidor, and incredible lounge. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 at 48th Street next to Cubby's.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision, the only place in our area to specialize in all 7 FDA-approved vision correction procedures. Find out which of those 7 you qualify for by visiting their website today, KuglerVision.com.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on Woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Teaching is one of the most rewarding careers and is in high demand. If you have a bachelor's degree but are not satisfied with your current career, at College of St. Mary, you can earn a teaching certificate and a master's degree at the same time. Available to both women and men. We make it easy to balance your work and home life with classes online and on Saturdays. Get started on your teaching certificate and master's degree today. Visit College of St. Mary at csm.edu.
So is this the line for Dragon's Maze?
Wow, the line is really long.
Mommy, we'll meet up later.
How long will you wait?
As long as it takes.
So you guys are only going to do this one ride all day?
It won't be that long, probably.
Mom, can you get us food?
But wait, are they cutting?
Caleb, food is so far away.
Should I say something?
Daddy, pick me up. Mom!
Hey, there's a line here.
Daddy, swing me.
That's like 20 people. One person holds the line for 20 people? This is bull.
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform with 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Hey, quickly before we get to this stupid pizza thing.
Sorry.
There's your tease. I'm gonna make you describe it. All right? It's gonna hurt you. But I'm gonna make you describe it.
Okay.
We go to a Q&A with Omaha Storm Chasers and Union Omaha owner Gary Green that Tom Chattel did. Q, are you looking to build a new facility for Union Omaha? And where? A, can't really talk about that. If you look at Sporting, they played in a place called T-Bone Stadium and drew 5,000. They moved to a soccer-only facility and draw 22,000 to 23,000 a game. There's a history and a track record of teams moving to their own facility, and the popularity blows up. Now, I will say this. We're talking about at a little different scale here in Omaha. Omaha does not have an MLS team. Wonder if Omaha could have an MLS team. But that's a different thing. We're talking about Union Omaha right now. And the conversation revolves around them moving out of Warner Park and then building a nice facility for themselves. And that the Union Omaha, a lot of times the soccer crowd is probably a little bit younger, usually not into the other sports. Like soccer crowds are kind of unique in that way. It's like they like soccer and probably wouldn't find themselves at many baseball games or football games or basketball games. Maybe that's an overgeneralization, maybe not. It is. I'm sure everybody doesn't fit into that category, but I think that's probably the way that that they think about it, man, I wonder how that would go over. And keep this thing in mind. We've talked about this in regards to a lot of things. We just talked about it with Omaha's coach, Chris Crutchfield, a little bit earlier. I don't think that it really matters what it is. People around here, if you win, they're going to show up. They are. It doesn't matter. I mean, even if it's the Storm Chasers. Which, like, if they win a title, what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? I don't know. You get to say that you won a title, a minor league title, as they did in 13 and 14. And that was a newer ballpark back then, but they showed up. And, that's something that the Chasers hang their hat on now. Think about that going forward and what that could look like. Maybe something like Morrison Stadium somewhere else in town. And where would you put it? I think they'd be shooting for closer to the center, right? Closer to where that younger population is. It's a little bit, I mean, for the soccer fan that I just described, it's a little bit of a haul to get out to Warner Park. Right? Especially, you're likely living in the middle of town here. Once again, overgeneralization. But it's something to keep an eye. Like, usually when the answer is, I can't really talk about that, there's something happening there.
Yes.
Right? So
if it's nothing, then you just say it's nothing.
Right. It's like, yeah, I'm not. That's
no. People talk all the time.
That's
There's
way down.
there.
That's way down the line.
Yeah,
or something like that. No. Can't really talk about that. Also, just little note here. I heard you once tried to get a G League team in Omaha. He said, we negotiated with the NBA, had the letter signed. We met with someone with the Denver Nuggets. They seemed interested. Then we never heard from him again. A month or two later, Adam Silver said that only NBA teams can own their G League teams. So we were off the table. That would have been fun. We figured the break even for that would have been $3,000 a game. We looked at Ralston and Baxter.
Oh.
Is that something that Omaha would support a little bit?
I think so. I think they got to win a little bit. They got to be decent.
Yeah.
Because you're not really going to have names.
As far as the major league piece of it in general, he was asked, Gary Green, who owns the Chasers and Union Omaha, he was asked just about Omaha supporting a major league team in general. He said, Omaha would come and support it. The question is to what level? Kansas City is one of the smallest major league markets in the country, and Omaha's a lot smaller than Kansas City. I just don't think we have the demographics to support it, just like we have the demographics to support the USL, but not an MLS team. Things change over time, though. But basically he's saying, it doesn't look like it right now. Okay. Spokane pizza.
Spokane pizza.
Josh, what happens in Spokane?
Well,
it should stay in Spokane, first of all.
I want to start by saying this video it's not a real thing. It wasn't a hoax per se. It wasn't a joke, but
this is a thing now where it's not really a hoax. That's not a great way to describe it. But basically, it's kind of making fun of the idea that this could be real and that us white people would go for it.
Yes.
I've seen videos like this before where they like put a bunch of stuff in a toilet and mix it all together and like drink it or whatever. And I'm like, and they just keep putting the most odd stuff in there, like over and over and over again. You sit there and you watch the video for like 10 minutes and not 10 minutes, but like a couple minutes. And they just keep throwing random stuff in there. And they keep saying, oh, this is so good. This is going to be so good. And of course, the end result would be horrendous. But basically, I feel like that's the point of this video.
This starts as all gross things do from TikTok. The Mythical Kitchen guys, they have a YouTube channel, pretty popular. They often do a lot of like, here's how to make a Crunchwrap Supreme in your own home, like things like that. And or like, hey, what would a Pop-Tart flavored taco taste like? What am I having for lunch? I just referenced tacos back to back. But this is a Detroit style pizza base. So it's got that thick
cakey,
breading, topped with canned salmon, strawberries, bell peppers, onions, and fry sauce, which is a combination of mayo and ketchup. And he says, "Oh, I've never had Spokane pizza before. It's my new favorite trend." And he eats it, and it's delicious, and he loves it. And Twitter had takes.
Let me just say that if he decided that he was going to make fun of like Omaha by saying this was Omaha pizza, which was probably on the table, because like Omaha's not known for one thing or the other as far as food is concerned.
Sure.
Like they don't have a special food that they're known for. If you were to make that and say, hey, this is Omaha pizza, I would be outraged.
Yes, a lot of Spokane natives were.
I'd be calling for like slander and libel and all that stuff. Like we can't have this representing our town. Unfortunately, now for Spokane, I'm going to think of Spokane pizza anytime I think about Spokane. Shout out to Gonzaga.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing Spokane is known for right now instead of Gonzaga basketball. Yeah, Spokane natives very upset about this. Colin tweeted a reply. As a Spokane native, this offends me. Expect a class action lawsuit shortly.
Yes, yeah, I'd be all up in that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The replies continue. This is not Spokane pizza. I've lived here 40 years. This is not a thing. This has to be the worst tasting pizza concocted and should not have tarnished the good name of Spokane, Washington.
It does raise a question, though. What's Omaha pizza? Like, is there Omaha style pizza?
I feel like cream cheese base.
That's Lincoln. Keep that in Lincoln. No.
Steak on it.
No.
Maybe you do cabbage because we have the Reuben and the Runza.
Maybe. You would throw something like that on there.
Trying to think, is there a sauce?
I mean, Omaha's great food, but I don't know that it has a specific style of pizza that people think about. I'm looking at this listicle from Food Network. Omaha style. They describe Omaha style as La Casa.
Okay.
In Omaha, Nebraska, pizza comes with a rich, which it doesn't. It's just at this one place, by the way. But this is how people describe it. In Omaha, Nebraska, pizza comes with a rich and flaky crust that's more like a biscuit than those crisp rounds found in New York or Chicago.
Oh.
Sure, the city now hosts other pizza styles, such as deep dish and Neapolitan. But its original, namesake style, is a buttery rectangle with just a bit of thin tomato sauce and lots of meat. That's the premise of La Casa. Since 1953, the place has been topping its flaky, unyeasted dough with unsweet house-made tomato sauce and either mozzarella or Piquant Romano cheese, or possibly both.
Pecorino.
The bottom of each pizza is grilled in a special gas heat, blah, 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 blah. Basically, you get it. I don't know that I want that out there. Nothing against them, because I go there from time to time.
Okay.
And I enjoy it. But I don't know if I want this to be our entry into like, this is Omaha style pizza. But I guess you get what you get.
Yeah. Gosh, that's a great question. What would Omaha style pizza be? I mean, are we trying to make something off the wall and disgusting like Spokane pizza?
No. You're trying to make something good and something that other cities would want to try.
That we would want to be known for.
Like, how about this? When I think of Detroit, I don't think of Detroit style pizza, but it's good. And like, there's a time and place for Detroit style pizza. Same thing with
Yes.
Chicago.
Yes.
Think about that one a little bit. That's right. We're thought provoking, starting things up here. All right, but we definitely got to take a break and get to the poll questions and what to watch tonight as we round things out next on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
The zoo is a great place to visit, but did you know it's also a great place to work? Omaha's Henry Doorly Zoo and Aquarium is currently hiring for a variety of positions, and we think you'll love trying something new. You can spend the day meeting guests, talking to families, and having full access to walk and explore Omaha's Henry Doorly Zoo and Aquarium. To learn more or apply, visit omahazoo.com/work here.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When I need a new furnace or AC, I choose a company that provides solutions that meet my needs and budget.
When my furnace or AC needs repairs, I call a company with reliable technicians, not commissioned salespeople.
When I need a straight answer, I choose a company that is honest and has integrity.
At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we provide the best solutions for your needs and budget. It's just part of
The way we do the things we do.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Being in business 100 years can't be easy. Rotella's Bakery is that business. Great family-owned and operated business that understands the needs of the community. They specialize in breads and rolls made from the highest quality ingredients, ensuring that they are superior in taste. At Rotella's, with 5 great generations represented, the American success story is combined with customer satisfaction, and they don't compromise in quality. For more information about their specialty breads, you can visit rotellasbakery.com.
Does eating at home have you singing the blues? Stop by Cops, 72nd and Jones, or the Shadow Lake Town Center to grab a delicious pizza, fresh salad, and some tasty charred wings. Cops Shadow Lake Town Center just added 30 new menu items, including salmon, certified Angus beef fillets, ribeyes and sirloins, several pasta dishes, and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Cops, 72nd and Jones, and the Shadow Lake Town Center. Click copspizza.com to see the extensive new Shadow Lake menu.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. The WAVE technology at Brookside Medical was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now, and not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 402-671-7777.
Do you think all premium fuels are the same? Well, your engine doesn't. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus helps keep your engine running like new because it's engineered to defend against 4 main engine threats: gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. So next time, choose Shell's most advanced fuel ever. It's fuel for thought. In engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
We've had a fun show today. It began with a fun crossover. And then we went straight into Chris Crutchfield. We had Sam McKewon's corn takes. We had Jacob Padilla. We had Michael Bruntz. And we have talked about pizza. Yeah, so I think we've covered some bases today. Nice job.
A lot of ground covered.
Scott says Omaha pizza would be hamburger pizza. Unfortunate, but the fact that's the only reason basically why it's made, because of people in this area. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
If you're giving me a hamburger or a sausage option, it better be sausage 100% of the time. That's all I'm saying. So you got to do.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't seem like you agree.
No, I agree, but it is unfortunate.
And keep in mind, Josh, I can get very snooty and uppity about my pizza taste.
You can.
I can. I'll admit that right up front. We have poll questions as well.
Do
another thing that we like to do during these shows. If you missed anything, by the way, you can find it all up on the radio replay up until this very minute. 1620thezone.com, anywhere you find your podcasts. Clayton Kershaw. Do you believe Clayton Kershaw when he says taking him out of the game after 7 perfect innings was, quote, the right call? I do not. 69% agree.
Nice.
That seems to be a number for us. Are onions the most valuable vegetable?
It's a take. I think Sam kind of shot it down.
Yeah, he provided broccoli and corn. I think there was a pre-understanding that corn and potatoes didn't count here, even though it technically does. I'm going to stick by my take and say yes. 61% say no. How do you like your corn? On the cob, in a bowl, street corn, popcorn. So I think this is our most popular poll today. 65% say on the cob.
Very overwhelming, considering the number of choices.
20% said popcorn.
Yeah.
Kettle corn, question mark? Yes or no? This is a hard yes for me. 65% agree. Is popcorn corn? Yes, it certainly is. 69% say yes.
I think you guys are doing something to the polls here. Manipulating them as a collective.
And that would be it for our poll questions today. Thank you for participating. You can continue to vote at Happer Show.
Good polls. Good polls today.
What are we watching tonight?
Tonight we're watching...
I have to watch the movie. I have to watch...
Yeah. You have not commented on my Fight Club shirt, which tells me you have not watched Fight Club.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah. I was going to watch it last night, but then they had the game early, so I had to go out to Warner Park right away after I got here.
So you have time today? I know you were...
I have a couple softball games tonight,
a little busy,
but I think I could squeeze it in.
Okay. Looking forward to that.
Yes.
Blue Jays at Yankees tonight, 7:00. MLB Network. Vlad hit 3 homers last night in a
He
Toronto
sure
win.
did, and then was left on deck for a 4th.
Yeah. What will happen tonight? Wild at Stars, an NHL game on ESPN, 7:00. 2 Western Conference playoff teams go at it in the heart of Texas.
Something about ESPN and their theme music, man.
Yeah. No playing games until tomorrow, so we were a little lacking in the sports category. But the Kardashians are on Hulu, so what more do you need? The new series, which again is nothing like the old one. It premieres today on Hulu. You can keep up with the famous family on that streaming service. 8:00 on Nickelodeon tonight. Kind of late for a movie on Nickelodeon. Shrek, the animated send-up of all things Disney, is 21 years old.
Oh, happy birthday, Shrek.
That made me feel very old.
Yeah.
Dr. Dolittle is on BET tonight at 7:00. Eddie Murphy stars in the comedic remake. Gilbert Gottfried's voice is featured in that. So,
he's one of the animals, right?
Yeah. So we'll keep the Gilbert Gottfried stuff going for another night. And I just want to point this out: 9:00, Lifetime Movie Network, Deranged Granny.
Yes.
Hilarious title. When Barbara's son meets Kendall, Barbara quickly becomes an ever-present force in their lives and goes to murderous lengths to protect her relationship. Goes to murderous lengths to protect her relationship with her new grandchildren. Deranged Granny, Lifetime Movie Network.
There's always something.
That's a thing.
Whoever said that we're running out of movie ideas. We'll never run out. We have Deranged Granny.
Yeah. 10 years, we'll be rebooting Deranged Granny.
A lot of good stuff. That is what to watch tonight. Thank you, Josh. We are done today. Crossover's up next. Talk to you guys in a couple minutes.
Live